Guys, we're back in your life.
We're back.
We're so back, and we're joined by the one and only Danny Phantump. Danny, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. What's going on, everybody? Excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. When Ricky and I were discussing the idea of having another guest on, we were thinking, okay, what's the right topic? And the right topic we thought would have been more like collector focused, talking about just our love of specific sets. And this idea of kind of tier ranking all of these sets from the last couple generations came to mind. And then we were like, okay, who's the right person to join us for that? And we were like, it's got to be Danny. So I'm so glad that you're able to make time for us, man. I appreciate you.
I thought maybe you made this long list and everybody said no. And they're like, well, I guess we could have Danny. Like maybe.
It was a short conversation. I can attest.
Yeah, you were the top of the list, man. And then we got to kind of briefly see each other at a card party in Seattle. I know that you were walking around doing a lot of stuff, and I was at the vendor table, and so we exchanged contact info. And yeah, again, I appreciate you being here, man. I know it's later; you're out in Central Time, so we're going to be cognizant of time, but we got a lot to discuss, guys. Ricky, maybe we do a quick summary of what happened last show for those who missed it and want to go review the VOD.
Yeah, last show was a fun one. I would say one of our, if I don't say so myself, one of our better ones without a guest on it. We discussed Card Party West. We had the chat vote on the coolness factor of some slabs that Jake and I bought for a challenge video. And we have to close the loop today on how we did in terms of value appreciation. It's going to be a fun one today. And then last time we also talked about, the main topic was just discussing potential top signals for the card market and whether we're experiencing any today. So after I think it was something like 3 very market-y episodes in a row, we were like, let's just talk about how cool some of these sets are as the main thing today. So if you missed that one, you should go check it out still, but you're going to have a little respite from the sweaty market talk, as you put it, Jake.
Yeah, a little bit less, this isn't financial advice talk on this this program today, guys. So we're really excited about that. We did chat with Danny about prepping for our kind of traditional topics of new collection piece and, new, maybe a recent Pokemon card deal that we've done. And so we'll get into some of those. But I did, before we kind of dive into that, I just want to say this is our 8th volume or episode of Midweek Machamps. And we've kind of done it rain or shine, travel or no travel. The last, what's that make? Almost 4 months, right? So that'd be 16 weeks, right? Wow. Yeah, I just want to kind of express my gratitude to all you guys who've shown up and have been here. And then also my gratitude to Ricky. He has kept me organized and is always prompt with our meetings. So shout out to Ricky. Couldn't do it without you. And also thank you all you guys for being here. So a little bit of sappy, fan service at the beginning, if that's okay with everybody.
We love it. It's gonna be a sweet, wholesome episode. I can already feel it.
Yes,
the chat's all love for Danny in the chat too. It's literally just Danny's the man. Danny, why are you so nice? Danny, exclamation points. So
exactly,
yeah,
Danny. It might have been our purpose to bring you, right? So we've got 5 of our fans and 90 of yours currently live here with us.
Yes.
So thank you for boosting all of our numbers.
You guys are too nice.
All right, let's get into our traditional topics, huh, Ricky?
Let's do it. Who wants to start with a PC pickup or an item that we just have some sort of personal connection to in our personal collection? Should we start with Danny?
I want to see what Danny's got going on, because I know that he's trying to master every set in existence. But so,
I am. So that is like, I actually don't show off a whole lot of my collection normally. I don't know why. I just don't really show off a whole lot of it. But yeah, I am mastering every Pokemon card set. So I've got binders from just about everything behind me that has started. So that's a challenge that I kind of took on as a way to break from the market and bring back some of the fun of Pokemon.
I love
it. So that's a goal that I want to accomplish by the end of 2026. But I did bring some pieces with me. So a lot of people don't know this, but I do build retro decks. I'm a huge competitive player. I have been for ages. So I have literally decks that are put together, and some of them are kind of proxied for the most part, but from, years of competitive play. So this is a Lost Guard deck, which was really popular in 2011.
Wow.
So this is completely put together, and a lot of people will probably see this stuff and be like, well, why don't you Why don't you grade that? Like it's got Gengar Primes in it and Mew Primes.
Whoa.
Nice.
All these cards are like obviously sleeved up and they get played with. And then I'm also a big fan of like collecting stuff that has a story behind it, that has like a personal connection to me. So I don't slab much, but like I've got cards from like this was from my first ever international event that I played in.
Wow.
I've got some top 8 cards that my friends got at the last World Championships that we just had. So I have a friend in Pokemon Unite who actually gave me his top 8. There was actually 2 of them who top 8'd Unite at Worlds this past year. I've got top 8 cards of
Let's try to boost
these
them.
NAIC championship ones. I'm a huge fan of Tropical Beach, so I have like a ton of beaches, mostly because of like the old decks that play them. So those are all like really expensive cards. And then my biggest card is I have a friend once who won a championship, an international championship. So this is their champion card.
Wow.
So it's basically the same thing you saw, but it's got, I don't know if you can see like the champion logo up there.
Yes.
So I did get it graded. It only got an 8, but a lot of those trophy cards are very tough to grade.
Yes.
So I grade a lot of stuff that like a lot of people don't know this, but I used to manage a competitive team with my old business, and it was basically like a real esports feel. And it got to the point where we were winning, like we were getting on calls every week, talking like meta discussing everything.
Wow.
And we won like 9 major events in a row, regional events and international championships, like every single week, to the point where people were making like memes with like me on Phil Jackson's head and like my team is like the Lakers and the Bulls. Yeah, and it was just like this unbelievable. Yeah, Dead Draw Gaming was the name of the team, and there was hashtags going out all over X. Like DDG win was all over the place, and all these other top players who weren't on our team were like starting these, basically just trying to take us down. It was like fun camaraderie where everybody was like against us, but it was like all this like we got to stop DDG somehow. And it was just so much fun. But that is another side of Pokemon that a lot of people just don't get to experience. So a lot of these cards that I have, tell the stories of, hey, we beat out thousands of other masters. We won multiple events. And it was, this trip before Pokemon was what it is now. This was like, 2016, 2017. So crazy stories. So that's a lot of the collection pieces that I have, stuff that tells a story from events.
It's incredible, Danny, and I love what you said there at the end about how each collection piece it kind of like represents a memory, represents a period of time, and that's one of the reasons why you all love the collecting hobby in general, because you have an experience with the card or experience with the Pokemon, right? Like, anyone who says, "Oh, my favorite Pokemon is whatever," Charmander. Well, it's probably because you chose Charmander in the game or something like that,
right?
And so. That's so
very
cool.
Much so.
I had a question, kind of a follow-up before we move on to Ricky or me on the collection piece for you, Danny. So you have that made deck. My guess is it was a really competitive deck back from 2011. Is there still a way, like an outlet to play some of those older generations? Like those are prime cards, and so can you go to your LGS and just say, hey, today we're only playing from 2008 to 2011 or something like that?
Yeah, so nothing that's officially sanctioned by Pokemon where you can actually get points or anything like that. But there's times where we'll have, like at the North American International Championships, they'll run a tournament. We'll get our friends together and we'll run a tournament and be like, we're running 2004, 2005 tournament this weekend. So after you scrub out of the main event, like come play that, and we'll do that, or we'll cube or do something to that regard. Once you get a little bit newer, so like Black and White era, there are like GLC events which have different rules, different standards that you kind of play, that are still not sanctioned where you can earn championship points, but they're more recognized by the Pokemon Company.
Yeah.
Just because those cards are a little bit easier to get than some of like the Prime cards and Legend cards and things like that. Gold Stars, which were very playable, and easy to pull back in the day, where you could get, 1 every 2 boxes. So stuff like that, you can't like play sanctioned events, but there's still a high demand for it, because a lot of competitive players who played in 2010, 2011 are still playing today. Yeah. They're still out at events, hitting up every regional, going to every world. So they're still, it's fun for them to kind of take a break and be like, hey, this is when I kind of started. Let's play let's play 2012, let's play 2011, and then
Yeah.
we just
I
have
remember
these nice decks ready to go.
I remember I was at a small local card show maybe half a year or a year back, and a patron came to the table and traded in like 6 copies of like Skyla and N from like one of the black and white sets. And I'm just like, where did you get all of these? Like, oh yeah, this is from my deck back in the day. I'm like, no way. Like it's so cool. Like, and the thing is, like you mentioned, so many of those playable cards back then are some of the most valuable ones now, like the gold stars or shinings or, you know, EXs or whatever it may be. And, you know, they're just sitting in a deck, and all of a sudden now that deck is probably worth a pretty penny too.
Yeah, dirt cheap back then. Like I remember vending regional events, and you've got, you know, full art megas, basically $2 a piece, you know, $2-3 a piece that you're setting at your table, and they're not moving. Like I remember the full art N from Noble Victories was probably one of the most playable cards we've ever had. And that was $100 card. And if you got one of those in, like, whew, it was gone right away. But even that card hasn't appreciated nearly as much as some of these other full art supporters have.
Yeah.
But looking back at, like when we saw this giant boom of megas, and I'm looking at like Mega Latios and Mega Gallade and how they're like increased. You couldn't pay somebody to take those cards from you back in 2015. Like nobody wanted anything to do with that. So it's so weird now seeing how it is, because like when you're prepping for a show now, Jake, like you've got all these hundreds and thousands of dollars cards that you're putting out there. And in 2015, when we vended our first regional event, our most expensive card was probably like $50, you know, and everything else was $2, $3. Like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And it was all meant for stuff just to build decks and for people to try things out at the event, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you had some people who just collected and wanted master sets and stuff like that back then. But I mean, you could go across the way and buy a fossil pack for $35. And some people would just like crack vintage packs back in 2015. That's why it's like people who get into the hobby now, or who have been in the hobby since, you know, just pre-pandemic. It's like like Pokemon has gone through booms and it has appreciated throughout the years, but not like what we see now. Yeah. Not anything like what we see now.
I love it. I love it. Well, we should definitely have you on a follow-up one day and talk about the good old days, and also just kind of talk about how does that make you feel that, you know, we're in this new place. But I'm sure we could go down that rabbit hole for many hours.
Very long rabbit hole. Yeah.
Very cool. Let me go really quick, Ricky, then I'll leave it up to you. If you got anyone follows me on Instagram or elsewhere, you'll know that I recently picked this up. This is Dragonite EX from Dragon Frontiers.
Beautiful.
The Delta species. And this is a PSA 10 copy. And this walked up to my table at Collecticon Houston. Pop 30. So there's 30 of these 10s in the world. And I do love Dragonite. People ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite Pokemon? And I guess it should be Garchomp, but I think it probably is Dragonite.
Wow.
I have really fond memories of like grinding Dratini into Dragonair and into Dragonite in the game, and, you know, using the Versus Seeker in Leaf Green and just like battling the same trainers 50 times so that I could get a Dragonite before I go to the Elite Four. And I have a fond memory of like one time somehow I lucked out. I had like a super powerful. Tell me, Ricky, is it EVs that they're naturally assigned?
IVs are naturally assigned.
IVs. So the IVs are naturally assigned. I had a Dragonite who was brave natured and had crazy IVs. And when it got to level 100, without any I didn't EV train it, but it had 374 attack. And I was like, oh yes, like this thing is an absolute tank. And so I have a love for Dragonite. So
love it. Nice, man. Wow, that's some new Garchomp lore dropped with the admission that Dragonite is probably the actual favorite. Dragonite's top 5 for me too, for sure. So.
Yeah, it'll probably change. I mean, you ask me next week, it'll be Machamp or something. Who knows?
Yeah. Jarvitar says brave is minus speed though. I know adamant is really what you want if you're going for that physical attacker. You just
that's okay. Level 100 Dragonite versus level 52 Arbok. I'm still going to be fine on the speed front.
Yeah, one-shotting it with Earthquake or something.
Yeah, I'll be all right.
Mine is maybe short but sweet. This is not new. I wanted to show something that isn't something I just recently picked up, but rather something that I picked up when I first got back into the cards. And so this is a very nostalgic card because I owned one of these raw when I was a kid. These were kind of all over the place. This one, the Pichu, the Entei, there's like Neophile 2.
Yeah.
Some of them were movie promos in English, but I don't think this one came to English. And so when I first got back into going to shows, this was my first big purchase. We went to a few shows. We were spending very little money, and my wife's with me, and I'm like, this was like $300 or something. And I think I probably offered $260 or $270 and got it for that. But my wife was like, "Oh, are you sure?" You know, she's like, "Okay, $300 on one Pokemon card." So it's so funny, like how much has changed since then. But I'll probably never get rid of this, just because I think it's such a cool card, and it particularly now holds that weird. It's not that far in the past, but nostalgic feeling of when I first got back into going to these shows. This was the first graded card I ever picked up, and the first card I probably paid over $100 individually for. So that's I don't think I've talked about that one too much publicly, but yeah, just a personal connection one this time.
It's a very Ricky card, you know. It's a Japanese exclusive, holo,
totally
vintage, like classic Ricky right there.
Totally.
Love it.
Very cool.
So we should probably tell the chat, we will still be doing the Q&A at the end. So if you've got questions for any of us, particularly for Danny, who knows more about distribution and the TCG than Jake or I do, or whatever else you want to ask of any of us, we can certainly answer those at the end. We're going to spend a little less time in the tall grass today. Normally we get into the tall grass and we've got 3 segments for you. Today we're just going to bounce around a few topics because we have like 30 something modern sets to tier list, and we don't want to take Danny into 1 a.m. Central Time. If we have to literally spend 2 or 3 minutes average per set for this to be a reasonable length. So we're going to go a little bit short on this one, but I think we should start by talking about Legends ZA. No catchy name for it. It's just this game is out now, presumably could bring people back into the TCG, but Danny, I think you said you're playing a little bit. Any early thoughts on ZA?
So I do like the feel of it. I'm a little bogged down by the story because there's so much of it, and I just feel like I need to keep being involved in the story, so I'm not exploring as much as I'd like to. But also there's not as much to explore because you only have, a handful of wild zones or whatever that you can kind of go to, and you lose that open field concept that you had in Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet base, which I did enjoy a lot. I didn't think I would like it in those, but I did end up really enjoying it. So like there's good things and bad things. I probably do enjoy it more where it's keeping my attention more because it does feel like there's more to do in that story because it does keep going. But I am very far behind compared to most people. So like I'm trying to play like 15 minutes is my goal every day. So obviously the game's only been out a little over a week, so I'm not very far. My rank is like, I think I am W right now, going for V. So when I play tonight, I will get V done. I just caught my shiny Mareep.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, that's it. Like that's all I've had so far with Legends Z. But so far, I like it more than what I've liked the last couple games. Just not liking the lockdown feel as much.
Yeah, I will. So I am rank B right now. So I've put a decent couple of tens of hours, and it is probably my favorite of many of the recent modern games. I think I haven't finished the last 3 or something mainline games. It just kind of felt like a bit of a slog. This one's a lot faster paced, except that beginning. So Danny, you're by far in the worst part of it. You have to just button mash A until you get to like freedom. You get to Hotel Z and you can like leave it on your own. Because what's really annoying is you'll see an item off in the distance and you'll start walking and they'll be like, no, you have to go this way.
Yeah.
And it's like really, really, really funnels you into like the narrowest corridor of all time. And it's teaching, it's like these moves are super effective. And you're like, bro, we learned
the 30th game I've played.
Yeah. Like we've known this, like we learned this on our own as kids in the 90s and 2000s and stuff. So anyway, I actually think it's pretty good. The sort of like real-time battling. It's very fast paced, which is kind of nice. It does take something away from it. Like there's a very clear meta. Fragile Mons basically don't work, which sucks because some of my favorites are a little like glass cannony. Like I have a Gengar. Gengar basically doesn't function properly in this battle mode.
Okay.
The way that like it's very dominated by like Gyarados and these like bulky attackers. But anyway, beside the point, I think the story's not bad. There's all these like interesting little different like teams, and you can't tell who's like a good guy or a bad guy. And I think the trainer character design, normally I don't care about trainer character design much. I'm not a trainer card guy. I don't really care about the other trainers that much in most of the games, but the trainer designs in this game are really good. And I'm excited to see what they do with the cards, because there's some really unique and interesting looking characters, and they have okay personalities in this game. So I think I'm liking it. Jake, I don't think you've had a chance to even.
No, the unfortunate thing about me is that like I want to play a lot of it, but because I haven't started it yet, I've like intentionally not paid attention to any of the reviews or gameplay or anything like that, so that I don't have any spoils really. But from what I've heard, it kind of seems like it's playing a little bit more RPG-ish, kind of like Pokemon Coliseum to a certain degree. Does that sound kind of fair? Like it has some of that, like it's a Pokemon game, but it's not necessarily like maybe what we're used to.
Yeah, I mean, there's no gyms or any concept of gyms. There's no leaving the one city you're in. And it's very battle-centric. This game, I think some people have said, like, Arceus was all about the catching mechanic. Yeah. So if you like catching Pokemon more than you like battling them, you were going to like Legends Arceus. And if you liked battling, you might find it slow and like bland. If you like the battling mechanic and the action piece of it, it's like almost every side quest, there's two types of side quests in this game. It's like go fetch something, like follow someone to somewhere, or just like battle me. The game just wants you to battle like every 60 seconds of the entire experience. So if you like that, in that sense, I think it is sort of like Pokemon Coliseum. Like it's just Pokemon Battle Tower. Yeah, you know, like that is sort of what it is. It's Pokemon Battle Tower with a little bit of like lore going on in the background. Yeah, but it kind of works. It's not a masterpiece. You know, I'm jumping between that and Hades 2 and Ghost of Yote. So it's very telling when you play Hades 2 or Ghost of Yote, which are very good games. Maybe not quite masterpiece, but like very, very good games. It does, when I go back to Pokemon, it does feel a little boring. So I will say that about it. But I think people were really kind of slamming it even before playing it. And I felt like the criticism was a little unwarranted.
It's classic. That's a classic play though. Like there's always so much hate for the beginning of a new generation or the beginning of a new game. And then 2 years from now, we're all going to look back and be like, dang, we had it so good back in the good old days when ZA launched.
We might. Yeah. Danny, are you playing on a Switch 1 or 2?
2.
So Alcyon Collectibles was asking whether to pick up the Switch 2 or not. We have both, and we're using both in our household. What do you think? Is it worth it?
I wouldn't say it's worth it for this game. I mean, there will definitely be other games that picking up a Switch 2 is going to be worth, and obviously Switch 2, like you probably won't struggle to find it at all. But this game in specific, you could probably run it on a Switch 1 and you get pretty much the same experience.
Yeah. I agree. And generally, I think like the Switch 2, I guess it comes down to like how much do you like a platformer like Donkey Kong Bonanza, which you can only play on Switch 2, like some of those exclusives of the Mario Kart world. They are good. Like my wife and I get a lot of hours out of like the first Switch we got pre-owned 7 years ago when we started dating, or 6 years ago or something, and she uses it hours a day. So we just know we're gonna get the mileage out of it. So we just went and bought it pretty much close to release. And yeah, is it necessary? Absolutely not. But
it's good to know.
Agreed.
Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. Okay. Danny, I think we're gonna have you talk a little bit about you got some contact from a distro yesterday. So some hot off the press stuff. I think you might have talked about it in a video a little bit today, but just give us the latest on distro and what you're getting in terms of allocations and what that might or might not mean for reprints or whatever. I know everyone's sort of wondering about like the scarcity of booster boxes. It's probably come up in every episode we've done the last few.
I mean, and it's understandable because booster boxes are like, there just doesn't seem to be a replenishment of them ever, right? Like Pokemon obviously has a lot more vending machines that they stock now. They're stocking a lot of brick and mortar stores that they weren't stocking before, retail stores, not necessarily with booster boxes, but with more ancillary products and things like that. And Pokemon recently had a drop of booster boxes for Destined Rivals on their own website. So a lot of stuff they're able to keep in house and then basically kind of hold the rule set a little bit more, and they can be a little bit more careful with how they're releasing stuff. But nothing as far as booster boxes go to distros that are then going to stock LGSs, where it gives people the opportunity to sell product. You know, you get a lot of ancillary product right now. So there is a lot of releases that are coming out and also a lot of releases that are delayed. And I did talk about this a lot in a lot of my most recent videos. And I'm not going to be ever somebody who's like, you can predict the market. But I'm always going to be somebody who's like, this is great, but what if this? Because I don't want people to overspend. I've had people overspend. I've seen people overspend. I've overspent before, and it's not fun. Like once you get into a point where you're investing all this money into your collection, and you wake up and all of a sudden it's not up 50% anymore. Now it's up 40%, or now it's up 30%. And it just keeps going the other direction, and you freak out. And then all of a sudden you're like, I got to sell everything off while I still can. Like this panic mode sets in. And I think right now there are signs out there that point to a potential reprint in the future. It's just not something that's going to be happening over the next couple months. So typically what happens that a lot of people don't know is an actual reprint is when Pokemon is actually physically reprinting products. So they have their print presses that they run in North America. And they used to house printing presses in North America that would also feed Europe. So Pokemon would be responsible for printing products here that then they would send overseas. In the summer, beginning of summer, they changed that. So they no longer have to feed over in Europe. So Europe has its own printing company over there now that handles their product. But that didn't increase production over here yet. So Pokemon does run things very close to the chest, close to the vest, keep things locked down. So they don't share a lot of information. But there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now that could point to a potential reprint down the road. So you do see booster boxes dropping like 10% or so right now. And part of that is because there's so much money in Pokemon from a specific group. And I talked about this in my video today because I thought it was really important that like 10% of the country is responsible for 50% of the spend. And that's no different really than collectibles, right? So the top 10% of people who are collecting Pokemon cards are responsible for the majority of the spend. That's not necessarily something that is sustainable for the long term, because eventually they're going to stop spending that much money. And they're going to stop, like they're going to have to liquidate some of that stuff eventually. They're going to have to get off of some of that stuff eventually. How is it going to move? And once we get to a price point where it prices out that other 90%, they're going to struggle moving that product, which is going to slow them on investing stuff in the future. So this is just how my mindset works on all this stuff. So if that is the case, and we're at a point right now where collection boxes are getting pumped up more and more by number wise, we're getting more allocations of that than ever before. So the Mega Latios box, there was a ton of them, way more than what we've ever gotten for collection boxes in recent memory. As far as force allocation goes, the Salamence and Reshiram premium collection, way more than recent memory. And then they're delaying other products. So like the Prismatic figure collection was delayed. The Lucario figure collection was slightly delayed. The new Gengar battle decks are delayed. So the fact that they keep pushing stuff back means that these printers are going nonstop. But what are they printing? Because it's not coming out yet. Well, if you're starting to look at the release schedule for next year, and you're looking at times where a possible giant reprint could come in, I mean, we know we have the 30th anniversary in February. We know we're in the middle of 2 set releases in February because we have a specialty set in January. We have a main series set release in March, which is what they do every year. 30th anniversary in February. Something big could stew right around that time frame, which is what they did back in 2021. And so in today's video, I showed basically these are invoices of what happened in 2021. We got force-fed Wave 2 of Chilling Reign, which was like 600 boxes, force-fed Wave 2 and 3 of Evolving Skies, Wave 1 of Fusion Strike, Waves 2 and 3 of Celebrations, and then all of a sudden, hey, here's Darkness Ablaze, Vivid Voltage, booster boxes, and ETBs. And it got to a point where I don't want to ever say things are going to get back to MSRP, because I don't necessarily believe that they are. I think that they could drop if a giant reprint comes. But if we get to a point where all this product comes out at once, it's not so much the people who are buying it up. It's the fact that the stores will put themselves in a position where they have no choice but to sell as quickly as possible. And the only way they can sell as quickly as possible is to provide the lowest price on the market, because these stores have to pay these invoices. Right now, you get a new set release like Phantasmal Flames, your invoice might be $50,000 depending on how much that is. That's a lot of money, but it's not too much money. It's not too much money where a store can't survive by paying that. So they can kind of slow things out. They can be like, oh, I'm going to charge $300 a booster box, and it'll slowly move and I'll make good profit margin. But if you do that every week, where all of a sudden you're charging the store $50,000 every week and it's 6 weeks in a row, then what is the store supposed to do? They have to pay those invoices or they risk losing that account altogether. Well, then they've got to blow things out. And that's why we saw $90 booster boxes of Evolving Skies. So is that a potential possibility? Yes. Is it likely? I don't know. But it's something that I think the average collector needs to know so that way they can make better decisions when it comes to buying, because right now you get all this content that goes out there. Should I buy this? Should I buy this? Yes, you should buy everything. And you should buy multiples of it. And you should buy cases of all this. So that's why you have to be very careful on how much you're spending and what your position is on every single product, because you don't want to over position yourself on a specific product, because liquidity matters. And if it's hard to move off that product in the long run, or you get a giant reprint and Destined Rivals is your cup of tea and you want to buy that, and you've got all this money tied up in Journey Together at $250 a box, you might have to take a loss just to be able to buy Destined Rivals. So it's all very important for people to understand, because they ultimately are the ones who are making the decisions for themselves. But you get a lot of, like, right now it's easy to make investing content because it's like, buy this, buy this, buy this, everything's going up. But what happens when it steadies? What happens when it doesn't go up? Or what happens when something does come down the track? And I don't think typical collectors are buying cases, but I do think that gets pumped out to people, and people see vendor POVs and people see all this money being spread around, and then they want to emulate that. They think that's what it takes. Like, the biggest thing that I think right now is a struggle in the hobby is understanding that you might have a ton of knowledge because you've been involved in the hobby for so long, but not everybody is that way. A lot of people are just coming into it. A lot of people may come into it because of Legends EA. A lot of people came into it with this recent boom when Pokemon Pocket came out and Surging Sparks released and that Perfect Storm. A lot of people came into it during the pandemic. A lot of people came into it in 2015 when Pokemon Go came out. So there's so many different things that bring people into a niche, into a hobby. And it's understanding that everybody comes from a different background, a different understanding. And you want to make sure you're providing the best content to all those people, where you're not leading somebody astray who can't necessarily afford to be that. So that's really where my mindset works, is making sure that everybody has the information. So while, yeah, a lot of people aren't buying cases, like that's probably that top 10%, they're recording content about it and they know that it's out there and people are buying cases. So that might be something that somebody who's new to the hobby wants to emulate. And then they're spending, $5,000 on a case of Destined Rivals because all of a sudden it gets manipulated and blows up, and then it's just like a sad day for them. So it's just trying to get everybody to understand everything, I guess. Like, that's always my main goal, is to understand every side of a coin, an argument, a dice.
It's such a tough position to be in, to be someone who is like, trying to be that, the voice of reason, or at least the voice of like, hey, these are the risks that are at play here. Because at the end of the day, depending on the market cycle, like you said, Danny, you could buy literally anything and 2 months later you've doubled your money. Like what happened between, let's say July and September, July and October. And, then let's say that, you're making the content that you're making, as you should, because you've seen both sides of the coin, both types of market styles. And, you get somebody in your comment section who's saying like, oh, well, like Danny has always said that I need to be careful and not spend so much. But like my buddy just took out a business loan and doubled his money. And now he's like changed his life because of the decision that he made. And it's like, yeah, but that's an amount of risk that so many people are not willing to take. And I think that's maybe the piece that's lost, that like all this investing content and market talk content out there, there's looking at graphs and charts and seeing things go up and down. And then there's the reality of like, you are spending your money on something that has risk and you are not in control of the supply and demand levers. And you need to be very careful. That doesn't mean don't get involved. It just means be aware of your risk tolerance and the level of risk that's at play. And, yeah, I think it's important that we have, people like you who are in the know, who are helping others to know what they're getting into.
Yeah, and I think it's important to make. I mean, somebody just commented this about like unless they make a big purchase. Like I think that's a good point too. Like a lot of people think that they need to make that big splash, and it's not necessarily the case. Like when we talk about content that's out there and you're seeing these vendor POVs and people dropping, like how many times do you see videos with a coin flip, where it's like, okay, $1,000 or $500. Like those are big numbers for the average person, right? Or
Yes.
$1,000 or $0. Like that's a big gamble, but you've worked up to that point, right? Like you've worked up where you can have fun a little bit. And if you lose a little bit of money, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll make somebody's day, but you've worked up to that. Like when in 2015, when I was talking before about how it was worth nothing. Pokemon was worth nothing. Like the only way your business stayed afloat was on $2 cards. It was on dollar ends. And
yeah, I saw the video you made, Danny, about how you're going
stuff.
through like a bazillion cards of bulk back in the day.
That's the grind that you have to. It's a lot easier now.
Yes.
And people love easy because you can make money easily. And that you're right. There is risk reward. Like if you're willing to risk all this and you don't care if you lose it, you could have amazing reward. But I've got mouths to feed. I've got one day I'm going to have college tuition to pay for. I want to be able to pay for my daughter's weddings. Like I can't take that risk. I'm not taking that risk. So I know like I need to hit my margin and move on. Hit my margin and move on. Like I have no problem selling at MSRP because I just want that margin. I don't care about the extra money. I just want to build consistency. I want to build longevity. I want to be around for the long haul. I don't want to deal with the frustration of making the wrong play. I make the wrong play every day. Every day I make the wrong play. But in my mind, it's not.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong. Yeah, I'm wrong all the time. But at the same time, like I know I want to stick in my lane. I'm not worried about like these big numbers all the time.
I'd love to talk about that in depth with you, Danny, specifically the business practice of that kind of, sell at MSRP versus, create a reputation as someone who is going to kind of hold the line on what you think people should be paying at release and so on and so forth. It's a fascinating discussion because there's people on one side who are like, make hay while the sun is out. And there's people on the other side who are like, no, like it's a reputation thing. And if you want longevity, then you need to build this consumer base and people that trust you for years and years to come. And, then we're talking about, okay, is the consumer really loyal? Or are they kind of fickle and just go where the money, where the dollar is? And it's a fascinating discussion, and it has a lot more to do than just with Pokemon. Like this is a business and a retail strategy kind of conversation, but man, that's the kind of thing that I could talk about for hours, but today is not that day, unfortunately.
I guess if Danny's not sick of us by the end of this, maybe we'll have to have him back in the future, and that'll be a good topic we could get into. Yeah. I know it reminds me, Jake, of you. I think in the last episode you were talking about this, like people who succeed in anything, but certainly in this, in Pokemon and whatever, as a hobby, as a business, as a market, they build systems so that they know how to get by, whether it is the sun shining and they're making hay and it's easy, or they're scraping by on those, making $1 on $2 cards. Yeah. So I think it really it just reminded me of you. You were just talking about building those systems. And I think Danny's sort of essentially just like reaffirming that here, that these things go in cycles and you have to be smart.
Great point.
Beautiful. Danny, appreciate the transparency. And the chat does too. We've literally had people saying things like, "This is why we appreciate Danny." It's always a positive chat, Jake. I mean, in 8 episodes over 4 months, we've had 3 times somebody said something we had to give them the boot for. So
yeah, for the most part, it's somebody you can tell they were drinking too much on a Wednesday night, and we had to boot them out of the chat.
Yeah. But 99.9% of the time, it's love like this. Okay, so before we get into the tier listing, I think, Jake, it's time for you and I to have our reckoning here.
Yes.
The competition. So, Jake, as I'm pulling this up, I forgot to set up the share screen. Why don't you catch everyone up in case they didn't see this last episode?
Yes.
What are we referring to here?
So a month back, when Ricky and I were at Card Party in Seattle, we wanted to do a little challenge, kind of buyers like competition video. And so we set up a challenge where we both had $2,500 to spend. and we had to walk around the room and buy as up to 10 slabs, but somewhere between 1 and 10 slabs. And the idea was that we both spend 2,500, and whoever has the coolest selection, as voted on by chat from last episode, and I think people narrowly chose Ricky. He's the top list. I think he cheated though, because he picked a PSA 9 slab and didn't really show people it was a 9. He kind of went for just like as many cool artworks as possible. So there's that. So there was the coolness factor, and then the second piece was there was an appreciation factor. So who after 30 days chose the cards that would appreciate in value the most on a $2,500 investment. And as we all know, the market didn't necessarily cooperate with us. Pretty much everything that we could have bought, whether slabs or sealed, has retraced a little bit. So now our competition is reframed to who's the lowest loser.
Yep.
So Ricky, let's reveal the results here so we can see who here is wasted less money.
Yes, it is a funny state of affairs, and as you put it in a text to me a couple weeks ago, this is going to be a fun case study on speculation.
Yes,
because in this particular case, we just perfectly timed that speculating on a 1 month time horizon is potentially a completely losing battle for every, I mean, I've had situations, the tag team boom recently. I had a lot of things that did double over the course of a month. This is not one of those times for any of the items we purchased. So as a reminder, we both spent exactly $2,500 on the dot. The sticker price on the stuff that I bought was $29.70, and for you was $27.90, but the actual market value we assessed to be $27.75 for you and $28.50 for me. So I got slightly better head squeezing action with the vendors here.
Yeah, you're slightly more attuned to the skill of lowballing professional Pokemon sellers.
Yes, thank you. Yes, bring it on, because as we reveal how things went, and today in late October, we have both managed to turn $2,500 into $22.57 of value and $22.81 of value. So on the one, I'll comment on something interesting here, but I think the key takeaway here is we both lost hundreds of dollars in this exercise, but I lost less. So I did win the coolness and the appreciation. We did say money would talk, and what was at stake here, which you will all see in this video when it comes out very soon, is that I am the true Pokemon master, and Jake is, I don't know. I mean, an amateur. I don't want to put words in the fans' mouths so the chat can tell me what Jake is. I think amateur is probably fair.
Let it be known that I have never even seen this spreadsheet, and let alone have access to edit or make changes to it. This is all just made up numbers. I couldn't possibly have lost. I've never lost anything in my life.
That's interesting, considering the text exchange we had a little bit earlier today. You did demand a bit of a recount, but I said, go ahead and comp it yourself. And I threw you a bone because this Gengar did have a $330 sale. We're
not taking any PSA comps in mind.
It was a weird one.
The entire market.
It was the only one I eliminated. Otherwise, I did the exact same thing on all of these, which is average of the last 5. And it's funny because 2 weeks ago, your Dragonite had gone down, but my Lugia had gone up. And the Lugia has now, they've both just leveled out, and we both got annihilated here. So kind of interesting. The only thing one thing I will comment on, though, just to lend itself to the idea of the price you buy things at matters.
Yes.
Is that I protected my downside substantially here because of the negotiation and the effort on finding comps. I actually only lost $10 in a practical sense, even though versus market, right? The value I acquired that day was I had $350 of buffer there, and I lost almost all of that buffer. But anyway, all this to say, we both lose, but I lose less.
You're right. You're king of the losers. Now, what's our next segment?
Oh, wow. He wants to move on so fast. Let's just make sure we get everything from the chat here. I am the Machamp. Is anyone surprised that Oyama won? Yeah. When will we check on prices? You know, it would be fun, Jake, since we have this list. It doesn't matter if we have the cards anymore. We could check in on this in 6 months or a year or something when we're, you know,
it wouldn't make any sense because by then I'll be back in corporate. I'll have given up on my Pokemon dream. So I'll have probably left the entire hobby behind because as Bulbasaur put it, I need to go job hunting. The job market's not looking great, but I gotta get in when I can.
Yeah, man. We are bringing Oh Yeah Math back. Oh Yeah Math is in my next video, so thank you for whoever coined that last time. Yeah, I did some Oh Yeah Math last time and made money. And in this case, I lost money, but I won this competition. And that's what really matters. I will say though, Jake, as much fun as it is to jab at you, and then we'll get into the main stuff here. As we were discussing, like, should we do something? A lot of these things, these ideas come from Jake's mind. And Jake has been, to throw back the flowers you gave me at the beginning of this, incredibly gracious and had like, he's none of my interactions with him ever have you had any sort of like ego that was not just a bit. I mean, you'll have ego as a bit, but like, I think you've been just with the, I guess what I'm trying to get at is that this video that we're going to post, you decided to just have me post it on my channel. So, I mean, this is another example, like over the course of the year plus now that I think whatever year-ish that I've known you, as much fun as it is to jab at you and say that I have defeated you, even though you're full-time poke-brained. You are still a mention, a gentleman for, engaging in this with me. He took an hour and a half or so away from his booth during card party. And you know, you had the Jarvitar there, but there was real opportunity cost to you going and just goofing off.
That's another great point, Ricky. Like I didn't just lose whatever $50. I lost untold millions just from not being at my booth for 90 minutes. So
You're not even gonna let me.
One of the bigger L's of my life. Thanks for saying all those kind words.
You're not even gonna. Okay, cool.
You're the brains of the entire situation here.
You're right.
Congrats on the win. Next time we'll choose something that you have no chance to win, so I can feel better about myself.
Great. You're right. Let's move on from this segment. I regret the whole last minute and a half of being nice to you. Let's get Danny back in. Okay, guys, that was fun. What are we doing today? We are tier listing every Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet era set. Now we did make the decision in the prep here that we're not going to have a scorecard and a grading scale. Like it's not going to be a out of 10 on value, out of 10 on collectability, out of 10 on playability. We're just going to all have totally different points of view. Probably Jake is going to come at it as a dirty vendor scalper, and I'm going to come at it as a hobbyist who's also a dirty vendor scalper. And Danny's going to be the guy who loves the TCG and says Shrouded Fable slaps because Fez is meta, and it's gonna be fun. Do you guys have any famous last words before we start tier listing?
Yeah, this is a vibes-based approach, and so chat, feel free to flame us in the live feed here. That's all I've got to say. Danny, any opinions before we dive into this huge list?
Yeah, well, my list is right, and your guys' is probably wrong. So
wow,
that's true. The benefit of experience. So maybe I'll just tune out now and leave the studio. You can just kind of go solo, Danny.
I mean, you already took one L today. Like, do you really want to keep this going now?
I love it.
It'll be interesting to see how much we agree. I think we could come to. There are some sets where you're going to be like, we'll spend like 10 seconds on. Like, I guarantee you, there's a few sets that will spend like 10 seconds and be like, that's.
Yeah, agreed.
I think that's true. So yes, vibes based primarily. I love that Danny got into the sort of mudslinging mood there a little bit, kind of feeding off of the energy of me and Jake.
That's what happens. You play in the mud, you get dirty, right, Danny?
That's right.
We love it. Okay, guys. Let's jump in. We're going chronologically, Sword and Shield base all the way through, probably up to not Phantasmal, but the most recent set, Mega. So I will be using this tier list as financial advice. We might or might not talk about the financial part of it. Like it's all up to us. So let's start going through the visual set list. I'm going to use this site for Sword and Shield, and then we're going to go to the Pokemon official stuff for Scarlet Violet.
A quick caveat here. The chat mentioned something about Sun and Moon. Guys, we're sticking to Sword, Shield, and Scarlet and Violet here because that kind of spans the time where the majority of people who are in the hobby today got involved. and have the most experience. Now, obviously, you still can love XY sets or Sun Moon sets, and those are obviously still considered modern in my opinion, but we're talking about those sets where like many people had a chance to open a good amount of these sets and have some good experience with them.
Yeah, 100%. And the other piece of it is just practically, there are going to be some sets where we have to spend 5 minutes on it, and we've got 30 of them to get through. So when you just do the math, if we added Sun and Moon to this would be a 4-hour podcast. So if y'all love it, we bring Danny back. We talk retail someday. We bring Danny back. We talk Sun and Moon. Like this is not a speak now or hold your peace thing, but for Scarlet, Violet, and Sword and Shield, it is. So Sword and Shield base, guys. When I was looking at this, I was like, okay, so we got these VMAX full arts, kind of cool. We've got these Vs. I'm going through everything, right? We're going to talk the commons and stuff.
This set like introduces this idea that VMAX is like a full art hit, which is just unfortunate because so many of the just the regular VMAXs look so messy and just like paint thrown on a wall, in my opinion.
I'm with you. This Snorlax is cool though. I think it's one of the better cards in the set personally. And then let's just scroll all the way here. This is really what we had at the beginning of this era, is gold cards and rainbows. I'd forgotten that until I looked at this when I pulled it up.
Introduction of supporter rainbows was Sword and Shield was the first set where full art supporters got rainbows.
Okay. Yes. Rainbow trainers as your chase card in the booster box couldn't be more disappointing, unfortunately.
Do you agree with that, Danny? That's a take.
I mean, I'm not really like crazy about rainbow rares. They're cool. Like I don't like them. I don't dislike them. Okay. I don't know. Like I personally think Sword and Shield base is one of the better base sets we've had.
Okay.
I think Snorlax VMAX is probably the best VMAX artwork we've ever had. Lapras VMAX is also pretty cool. I think VMAXs in general, we were talking, Jake, about this before when you were talking about 2 years from now, Legends EA will be looked back on and be like, oh, that game we had is so great. I guarantee you 5 years from now, people will be like, yeah, I loved when VMAXs were around. That's what happened. Primes, nobody liked Primes.
True.
Nobody liked the Lost Zone. And then when you don't have it anymore, people miss it. But not only that, Sword and Shield had Shady Dealings Drizzile, which was one of the best competitive cards ever, printed in the Sword and Shield block. And then it also introduced, you had Air Balloon, you had the reintroduction of consistency in your deck with Marnie, with Professor's Research, and Zacian was goated in competitive play. So Sword and Shield base was actually a very good base set compared to the disaster that was XY. Well, XY wasn't necessarily a disaster. Sun and Moon was. Sun and Moon base was a disaster. And Scarlet and Violet is okay, but Sword and Shield definitely up there more.
All that being said, it's all true. I'm gonna take you on your word, Danny. This is a C level set.
Yeah, this is weak, dude. As a collector,
C is fine. C is fine. It does not have all the collectibility into it.
This is low C. Yeah, this is low C.
You can only C. It's only not D because they didn't really reprint the box. It's like $600 or something, right?
There's no like C plus, C minus. Like it's just C. You can't low tier.
No, there is. There's
hey, Ricky, no PSA 8.5 crap here. Okay, we are full grade or nothing.
If it was all up to, we have to agree on one. I see. Okay, people in the chat are saying C is generous, C minus. I think that as a collectability, I would put this in like D. This is weak. I don't really care about this set from a collectability standpoint. Wow, look at their chat. This is gonna take hours if we're gonna. People are like, what even is gonna earn an F?
Okay, we will go with D. I can support you with D from the collectability standpoint, but then Rebel Clash can just go right to F without even really talking about it at all.
Wow. Let's hear it.
One of the worst sets of all time. Like when I've opened a few packs of Rebel Clash on my stream, Danny, and every time I put it in my drip store, I just feel bad. I feel bad that someone is going to open this pack at any price. At any price, this is a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I do like Ninetales is cool. The full art boss is cool. Dragapult was obviously very good in competitive play, but outside of, and Milotic is like goated. I love Milotic as a Pokemon, but this basic artwork from a collectability standpoint, where they just kind of splash some color behind the Mon without any texturing, because that was what made like Black and White great, XY great, like the texturing. Like you just got, I mean, the golds are weak. It's just, it's not there. So Rebel clashes.
It's Rebel trash for a reason, guys.
Rebel trash in the comments for sure. Easy. Let's move. Darkness Ablaze.
That goes lower than Rebel Clash.
No. No.
Don't even.
Okay.
There is literally nothing in this set that you can be like, no, this was good about this set.
Not true. Shout out the Salamence. One of the best rainbow cards from this generation is Salamence VMAX Rainbow.
Really it has a great card in it. Just because it has a Scizor in it. Yeah, the Salamence, this isn't bad. This guy's cool.
That's what a cool Salamence.
It's the full art, but with a rainbow.
Yeah, but it cleans up the full art. Like the full art's messy. This is one of the better rainbows here. Also Rillaboom Gold, real shiny Rillaboom, very cool. I chose Grookey as my starter. I loved Rillaboom.
I also chose Grookey as my starter. No, wait, I didn't. I chose Sobble. Never mind. It was between Sobble and then once I found what Sobble evolved into, I was like, well,
yeah, big
no, this isn't it. This isn't happening for me. I should have gone back, but no, like no, that's not enough to save the set.
I don't think we're saying it's saved.
It also introduced the first Charizard of the generation. Okay, and obviously, like it. Obviously, not everyone's a Charizard fan, but when it came out, that Charizard was a legitimate chase card, like a legitimate one. Now it's like 38 bucks, or whatever, but
okay, it was a legitimate chase card because of the Logan Paul effect that brought tons of people into the hobby chasing a Charizard.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, and once they found out this is easy to pull and easy to grade, and it dropped to like 20 bucks.
No, it's better. It's better than Sword Shield base. I will die on this hill.
Which part?
The Charizard, the Salamence,
the Snorlax VMAX from Sword and Shield base, first of all, is better artwork than the Salamence Rainbow Rare. And you have like 8,000 more competitive cards in Sword and Shield base than you do in Darkness Ablaze. Darkness Ablaze is below Rebel, like F.
I will accept E, but I will not accept worse than Rebel.
Okay.
Rebel is the I would rather throw Rebel in the garbage than own it sealed.
I'm not seeing the argument for why it's better than Rebel Clash, and Rebel Clash is terrible.
There's nothing in Rebel, literally nothing.
There's an Inteleon in Rebel Clash that was at least playable. Named one playable card in Darkness Ablaze. Just give me one.
It's a Charizard set. It doesn't need to be playable.
But it's okay. Well, it's still like, I'll save it for when we get to Obsidian Flames, then I guess.
Oh my god!
Let's talk about Champion's Path next.
Okay,
that's the Charizard set too.
For Obsidian Flames.
Hold it. Order in the court. E feels fair. I would put it at E, and you two have your kind of split the difference. E splits the difference. I think this is reasonable.
Yeah, we can move on. I've already blocked Danny on Instagram, so we don't have to chat anymore. So.
Okay, guys. Champion's Path, our friend Ern's favorite set. Champion's Path. What do we think of Champion's Path? Gardevoir, Alcremie, colorful. Lucario, kind of cool.
The shiny Charizard V here is one of my favorite cards from the generation.
Carries really hard. This
legitimately. And like you said, Danny, when it was full Logan Paul hype, that card in a 10 was going for 1,600, which is crazy numbers for 2021. Crazy numbers for a modern card to hit that high.
See, this is the bad part. So this set is slightly better than Darkness Ablaze, but shouldn't be above an E, I don't think, which is why I think we need to move Darkness Ablaze down and put this one in E instead, because so you've got the two Charizards. I'll give you the Charizard factor with the set. That's fine. But it also has Wailord is a cool mon, and Wailord has historically done well in the TCG, not this set. But it's also got the cake. Like Alchemy is gorgeous as a VMAX, like one of the better looking VMAXs. So I'm okay with Champion's Path, which doesn't have any competitive play at all, being, I guess if we want to keep Darkness Ablaze at E, then it would be an E also. Or I guess if you really want to put it higher, then we can put it a D. I do think it's better than Darkness Ablaze.
I think it's better than Darkness. I think it's better than Sword Shield Base, but if we have to be a D, then I'm fair with that.
I also think it's better than Sword and Shield Base. So this is the funny.
I'm really going to struggle with this competitive insight. Like this is going to be a huge struggle for me.
No, it's good. It's good to have it. It's like the Supreme Court. We need someone to weigh us down somehow.
I completely agree. You're the perfect third chair for this episode. I'm with you. So this is when I think about like the low D thing, Danny, is like the order here matters, right? Like Sword and Shield is above Champion's Path and D tier here.
Then I can get behind that. Yeah.
I think we're somewhere in this range. I think that's reasonable. It is, to me, only a couple cards. I agree. This Alchemy is awesome. And this Charizard I've owned a few times. I've PC'd it and then sold it and PC'd it. It looks better in person than it does flat here. The sparkles and the silver, it's really cool. I think it kind of carries the set though. It is a bit of a like 2-3 card set from a collector standpoint.
And to add on top of that, like I know no one cares about this, but like when it's graded in a slab and you've got the, the PSA label matching the color of the wing and all of that, like there's some coolness factor to that graded slab as well.
Indeed. All right, guys, we are on to Vivid Voltage.
How did we get through the beginning of Sword and Shield? Doesn't that make you wonder, like, these sets at the beginning for the front half of Sword and Shield, like the excitement during that time? How?
Well, it was spiking from social media, and then Pokemon Company did everything they can to pour like an ocean of water on that fire. It was like, let's print the worst sets we've ever done, so that no one wants to collect our cards anymore.
Oh man,
Jenny, you hit us with the playability.
I'm not a huge. Yeah, there's nothing. Like Pikachu VMAX Rainbow Rare, obviously the Chases set is cool. Like it was cool that they put that in there. Vivid Voltage is a very full art supporter driven set. So if you're somebody who likes full art supporters, you've got Leon, you've got Bay, you've got like some cool full art supporters in here, which is nice. And you do have the introduction of those amazing rares, which weren't really amazingly difficult to pull.
Yeah,
you have the full art Pikachu. Other than that, this is just really an artwork set, collectability set. There's really no playability behind it. A couple of the amazing rares did okay competitively, but not enough to like really ride home a set about. So Vivid Voltage is very meh to me.
Better than Sword Shield Base.
I don't know if I can agree with that, man. This feels weak. It was a good call on the Amazing Rares. Do you feel like if the Amazing Rares are really rare, like the Amazing Rares feel to me like if they were a vintage chase, they would be so popular.
Yes.
Right? Like if it was like Gold Stars were, like if it was like something from that era and it was like very hard to hit, they really are cool. And I think from a collectability standpoint, the kind of thing like if you're a kid on a budget,
especially because they did so few of them, it was just Vivid Voltage and Shining Fates, and that's pretty much it. So if it had a pull rate of like 1 out of 72 packs as opposed to the 1 out of 12 packs that it had, there would have been a lot more potential with it. They did cool Mons. Yeah, I would say this is an E set for me, but I think this is worse than Sword and Shield Base for sure. Just because I think Sword and Shield Base doesn't have a lot from a collectability standpoint, but it really is carried by its competitive play.
Agreed. All right, I'm okay with that.
Behind Darkness Ablaze on E tier,
I think it's better than Darkness because the Amazing Rares carry. The Pika beats the Chase, and the Amazing Rares carry, in my opinion.
Okay. I think this is
about my opinion about Darkness Ablaze, so
you want to delete it from the list.
All right.
Delete it from history.
We're moving on. We've got Shining Fates.
Oh,
this is gonna be the last tough set.
A turning point in some ways, I think, right? For this era.
Shining Fates was a cool idea because of the success of Hidden Fates.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You do have the Charizard. You do have the introduction of all the newer gen in baby shiny form with a couple of old throwbacks like the Galarian Ponyta and Rapidash and Suicune, which are cool. it didn't really have any competitive playability because
Okay.
like Drizzile was reprinted in the set, but everything's a reprint. And that's basically what these specialty sets are. It did introduce these gold and black cards with the Eternatus and Eternatus VMAX, which is cool.
Yeah.
But there's not enough, in my opinion, cool factor of this set to really make it do well.
Yeah, I would say that I like it has more hits that like if I opened it out of a pack, I'd be happy about it compared to like a Champion's Path. But like from the jump, like that the Charizard being the best one, like it's overshadowed by the main chase from Champion's Path. So in that way, like they're kind of on the same tier for me. I actually low-key love the Rillabooms from this set and the Dittos.
Dittos are cool. For
Dittos
sure,
are great. Like pulling that full art shiny Ditto V, I was always excited to pull that.
Is this one thing I'll throw in from a like very collector boy POV? Is this like one of the most? Is this the most master setted modern set?
Wow.
No, I would say like 151.
151 probably, yeah.
Or
Yeah, Celebrations
maybe
maybe.
Celebrations definitely because of how small it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
this one, but it's up there, right? It's
Yeah.
it's not few.
Yes, I mean as a vendor, like back then, and then obviously now with Paldean Fates, we'll get to it. But like people coming to your table asking for baby shinies, it's a lot.
I would slap this right between Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze.
Yeah.
You could go higher if you wanted to be generous because it is like as far as opening a set goes, it's fun to get a pull. Especially if you're kids, you just want to get some hits.
I think it's at D.
I think it's at
D because yeah, exactly. Your hit rate was more generous.
Yeah, low D. I agree. Okay, let's keep it rolling. We are moving on.
Cool. I'm good with them.
We had the regular Shining Fates. We kind of did that. Battle Styles. This is where we really start getting the alt arts, right?
First one, yeah.
Yeah, the Tyranitar.
T-Tar, Urshifus, and
the Urshifus were really good competitively. You got the Gold Houndoom, which rips.
Yes,
I
the
do
Gold
like that
Houndoom
card a
does
lot.
rip. I love the Empoleon love in this set. Empoleon does not get enough cards. Mimikyu full art is actually a good hit.
Yeah, that one's really cool too.
Yeah, this Empoleon's sick.
Corvic Knight, very cool. I loved all the love they gave the Corvic Knight line in this generation. Very cool.
I feel like these full art trainers look kind of cool too. Like they look pretty animated.
Yeah, Phoebe's a solid card. I don't know how playable
cool.
it is.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton. Like the Urshifu was good. The Rapid Strike energy was good, but other than that, there wasn't a whole lot that was able to carry. And that's why Sword and Shield base was such a big deal because Zacian and then with Rebel Clash, Dragapult, they got played so long because there wasn't just anything that could kind of dethrone it. This set it's okay. I mean, there's some cool cards like this Houndoom right here.
Yeah, these are cool.
Was pretty good competitively, but not enough to make this like in the topper area of the tier. Like I would put this like next to Sword and Shield base on either side. Like I still think this is unfortunately a D set. You can argue C if you really want to hit up those alternate arts because yeah, Tyranitar's cool, Empoleon's cool, but to me that's all it really is. Like Urshifu's being newer mons, people don't resonate as well with them in alternate art form.
Yeah, I like it here.
I do too.
Top of D.
I totally agree. I think that's right. Okay, now we're starting to get into
something I would actually buy.
Chilling Rain. Let's let these load in.
I am a Chilling Rain apologist, guys. I love this set. I'm a huge Gen 1er, but I also love Bronzong, and so those gold cards are like really hit for me.
The Snorlax is amazing.
The Snorlax is so good. And like there are like this, and then obviously Evo Sky's coming up next. Just an absurd amount of ultra rares in this set. Just like it's so many.
I think this is
ultra rares.
The most ultra rares in a set. This one, and then second is Evolving Skies.
Wow. Wow.
It's crazy.
So
It's
this is
like, what
like-
is it, Danny? It's like 85 ultra rares or something like that.
There's over 100 in the set. Yeah. So this one
Wow.
statistically is the most difficult set to pull a master set.
Wow.
Crazy. But yeah, you've got, look, you got Blaziken, you've got so many alt arts, the Rapidash.
Articuno's cool. This Moltres is awesome.
Yes, the 3 birds. Okay, the full arts and the alt arts, so good. Metagross, Blissey.
Of course, this is sort of the value-wise the chase, right? The
Yeah.
Blaziken.
Yeah, and I do love that.
This is a great set. This is, to me, this is probably like in the low A range. What do you guys think?
And interesting that they decide to put this Celebi VMAX in here because the V is in Vivid Voltage, right?
The V is in Fusion.
No.
Not the
full
alt
art V is in Vivid, I think. Which is interesting. They like split up all of Celebi's cards.
But isn't it a different attack? I thought there were 2 Celebis.
Are they? Is it totally different?
Maybe I'm wrong.
Either
I
way.
think that from a collectability standpoint, Chilling Reign is very, very good.
Yeah.
From a playability standpoint, it's okay. Like Blissey has regional tournament victories. Blissey was a big card. I don't know if I can get to A. I can get to a B. But there would probably be other sets that I put ahead of it in B. So I wouldn't, if you guys were like a C+, I could be okay with a C+ also.
Dang.
It is a really good collectability set, and it's got some amazing artworks. I just think we are coming to a point now where there are better sets than it.
Yeah,
so
that's true. Yeah, I guess I just have a little bit of bias because like it was a game changer back then, you know? Like back then it was like, whoa, like this is a different level of Pokemon card artwork that we've never seen and at a volume of artworks. So I like it at A. I think it's such a great set, currently undervalued, but if you guys are at B, I'm okay with that.
I'm also at, I think I'm going to end up at low A, high B on this. So given Danny's feels on this, let's just put it in B and we can always sort of like rearrange the order of things. To me, this represents like the turning point of Sword and Shield, right? Like this is really where, and actually like the turning point of Pokemon cards, modern Pokemon cards in a way. So I think it's underrated. Anyway, I'm okay with it as like, we'll call it a high B now. And maybe as we filter everything else in, we'll feel differently about it in context of like Sword and Shield and the rest of Sword and Shield and Scarlet Violet.
Yeah.
So let's keep it in B for now. I think that's a reasonable and acceptable place. We've got Evolving Skies. What do we think of Evolving Skies?
This could be a tough one.
Will it?
It could be. I mean, this is, to me, slightly better than Chilling Reign, but only slightly. I think from a collectability standpoint, obviously it's better. Outside of that, playability wise, it had Umbreon, which did do fairly well sometimes, but only for brief periods of time. It had really nothing. So really all that carries Evolving Skies is evolutions.
Danny, it's so surreal to that you and I are chatting, that we're chatting right now. I have a distinct memory of listening to one of your videos when I was driving to my corporate job a number of years back, where you talked about the unrealistic expectation of trying to pull a master set of Evolving Skies. And like how many, and what I love is you created this word of duplicates and triplicates.
Yeah, I say triplicates all the time for some reason.
You say it all the time, and now I can't get that word out of my head. And I just remember because I was someone who was like vociferously ripping this set, just like insane amounts. And I love it. This is an S tier set for me in every way. And so you guys say what you want, but I believe in my heart this set is so absolutely
okay. Well, how are we valuing S tier? Is there one S tier from each gen?
Ooh,
wow.
Because this cannot be S tier.
S tier in my mind is like, this is the pinnacle of the hobby. Like these sets are like when it comes to what we're going to remember is going down as the good old days, then the set deserves to be there.
I'm I'm loving the debate because I thought this might be one of those where we just all go AS, like slap it down and move on. Might be a 10-second set. So, I mean, this is it's a completely iconic. It's an iconic set. Look at this. I mean, some of these.
No, the artworks are so amazing, which is what really, like I said, drives the set. And I can get behind an A tier. I don't know if I can get all the way to an S tier. If we're making more than one S tier, like Evolving Skies in my mind is probably like the second best set in the Sword and Shield block.
Okay.
So I can get behind A tier.
Let's go A for now, just because we have a lot ahead of us, and maybe we come back and we decide actually in context it's better than that. I think there is an argument for S tier here. Someone in the chat was suggesting maybe 2 S tiers for the era. I think we could try to cap ourselves at something like 2 per era. I think that feels correct. Right?
Yeah, and I do think, like, I mean, it's better than Chilling Reign. Like, artwork wise, it's way better, but it takes a step back because of its lack of super competitive cards, which is something that, like, when you ask yourself what is the perfect ideal set, it's a good mix of both.
Totally. I think that's fair. I think that's super fair. It has to cater to all those different types of people who engage with the hobby. So this is, I think it's breaking it up into 2. Is this how big Celebrations is this small visually?
Yeah, it has 25 cards and then 25 subset.
Wow, that's tripping me out. I knew that, but like seeing it laid out in front of you like this. What do you think of Celebrations?
I can't like hold back. I can't even keep myself from talking. I love this set.
My goodness, thank goodness.
I love Celebrations.
I really thought we were gonna have a bad day with this one.
No, it's so good, and I like the memories of opening it on release. And I think I pulled the Blastoise, and it was just like so nostalgic, and the texture on those reprints of the starters and the Blastoise, like with that big circle texture around, it's just so good, so fun. And I figured Danny would love this because what they decided to do with this was throw back so many of these like playable centerpiece cards.
Yep, this clay doll.
Yes, and so anyone who was like involved with the TCG was like, holy crap, yeah, the good old days when we had the clay doll or the Xerneas or the, I know that Mewtwo just kicked everyone's butt for a long time.
Yep.
Was Donphan Prime might have been one too.
Donphan Prime was good. Garchomp was good.
Yeah.
Outrage was great with Zekrom and Reshiram. But it wasn't only that for like the legacy cards here, the classic collection. If you scroll up and look at the normal collection, you have Flying Pikachu VMAX, which won the North American International Championships, or Flying Pikachu V. And you have the Mew, which obviously has like skyrocketed in price as well. But also just its ability was also very competitive. So from a competitive standpoint, not only do you have this historically nostalgic set that has done well competitively throughout the years, but it also did well competitively for the small, slim 25 cards or whatever it was that was in the normal collection.
Yeah. The other thing they decided to do with all of the products from this set was they gave you Celebrations packs and other mainline set packs in every product. Like in your ETB, you're getting a whole bunch of different types of packs. It just made, like, if you were trying to get into Pokemon card collecting, like, it was so good for that too.
Yeah, how nice would it have been though if it would have came out just a little bit later, so we could have gotten like more Evolving Skies, and like instead of just like, oh, here's some Darkness Ablaze and Vivid Voltage packs for you.
I remember because Evo Skies comes out, and then like it kind of leaks that there's no Evo Skies in any of the Celebration stuff at release, and everyone was just like, oh.
I think there was one first partner pack like Gen that had Evo Skies in it.
Yes, I just opened them last night on stream, Danny. It was the Gen 2 partner packs had Evo Skies in them.
Okay. Yeah, and that was it.
I have a lot of great memories with this set as well, even though I came back more recently than you guys. This was one of maybe the first set when my wife and I started opening things where I got that inkling of like, oh, I could help fund my collecting habit by sitting on some boxes of Celebrations, with the sole premise, not like deep due diligence, just this is fun to open. People will want to open this in the future.
Yes.
That was literally my entire like Pokemon investing philosophy at the time. I bought 4 boxes or something, I'm sitting on, but it was so much fun. And now looking at it, it really it gives you it kind of gets the imagination going about what Pokemon is aware they could do in the future as well, like for 30th or 35th. Like they are aware of what was playable. They're aware of like the gold star collectability. They're aware, like there's just there's an awareness. There's a wink here from the Pokemon company that's I think really fun. So where are we putting? I feel like this is in the A range.
Yes.
Okay.
What do we think, Danny?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I could put it behind Chilling Reign, but I'm also fine putting it behind Evolving Skies. I think you can't go wrong either way.
Okay, somewhere in this range.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. All right. We keep moving. We are going on to Fusion Strike.
Ooh.
284.
Strikeout.
284 cards.
Yeah, this was the biggest set at the time that Pokemon had ever printed. It was just not loaded as much with ultra rares as what we saw from like Chilling Reign and Evolving Skies.
Mhm.
So
yeah, this set, when it came out and people started to open it, I remember like, they saw the Gengar and saw the Espeon on the set list and they were like, oh man, like Pokemon can't miss. But then as you started to open it, it was just kind of like this collective, oof, this is kind of tough. Like the pull rates were tough and like there weren't anywhere near as many chase cards like Evo Skies. And you were thinking like all of our logical minds back then were like, okay, they did Battle Styles. It had 4 alt arts. They did Evo Skies. It had a whole bunch, or Chilling Reign had a whole bunch. Evo Skies had a whole bunch. And then so you felt like, okay, we're continuing to peak and they're going to keep doing better and better and cooler things. And then it felt like they took a step back and it was like, wait, no, like your trajectory was so good.
That being said, the Espeon's good. The Gengar's good. This Celebi I love. I think this is a beautiful card from an art standpoint.
Yeah.
The chats, there's a lot of B in the chat, and it feels like it's in that zone. It's in the C to B range. What do you guys think?
yeah, I'm not a Fusion Strike hater. I'm not a huge Fusion Strike fan. I think the artwork is good. It has Mew VMAX, which is literally one world, and it had 2 years of dominance in competitive play.
Okay.
Mew and Genesect. So it definitely made its mark competitively. I just don't think there's as much for me as Chilling Reign. So I don't know what you guys think.
I agree.
I'd be okay with like a B if you guys are cool with that. I'd also be okay with like a C.
Yeah, I completely agree. B right behind Chilling. One thing I think that this does have is a lot of the alt arts are a very popular species, which is an advantage, right? You have the Mew, the Celebi, Gengar, obviously. That really helps it out.
Yeah, 100% for sure. It has, yeah, for sure. Yeah, agree. Brilliant Stars.
And now we get the trainer gallery sets, which is fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we love the trainer gallery. These Mimikyus are awesome from an art standpoint. What do you think, Danny, from a playability standpoint? What was the set relevant?
Brilliant Stars didn't have a lot outside of Arceus, which was absolutely massive. So, I mean, Arceus definitely made its mark on the format because it was so consistent and it was something that you could pair up with just about everything. Alternate Arts took a step back because you only have 4 of them. But then you introduce the trainer gallery, which does increase pull rates where you're getting like 14-ish hits per booster box, which is helpful. And then you have the re-emergence of evolutions again with an additional cheaper Umbreon VMAX. So Brilliant Stars, in my opinion, a good set, not ultra competitive, but not a bad set by any means.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, I remember like the buzz around town when this set came out was that, oh, like you could open a pack that had a green code card, and that didn't mean you were cooked, and because the opening experience, therefore, like it made sense to like kind of slow roll every pack, and because of that, opening booster boxes was a ton of fun. And then it brings alternate art Charizard. And there's what, 5, 6 unique Charizards in this set? Is that right?
Yeah, because you have the Charizard V, V-Star.
V-Star. It does show up 5 times on this page. V and V again, and then this
And then the
V-Star
rainbow.
rainbow. Yeah.
So that's obviously great. And then the evolutions, I remember being super surprised that they brought in evolution chase cards into this set just because of how recently Evolving Skies had come out. But yeah, I mean, you got the Pikachu, the Raichu, then the Galarian Burrs Gold. I remember pulling the Articuno and just being so hyped because I had the full art and the alt art from Chilling, and they kind of all went together. That's a vintage. If you guys want to go back on my Instagram from like years ago, vintage Garchomp, before my handle was Garchomp Collectibles, I had a picture of all 3 of those Galarian Articunos. So really, really fun to open.
The chat is saying a lot of like A tier above celebrations. What do you guys think?
I'm here for that.
Yeah, I can get behind that. It's got a good mix.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. The introduction of the trainer gallery is another, like, I just love it. I think trainer gallery is so awesome from a collection standpoint. We're moving on to Astral Radiance.
I loved Astral. I remember my first box I opened, I pulled like 16 hits and I was like so hyped. I was like, oh my gosh, guys, like it makes sense to open boxes. The Dialga V, it was one of my favorite cards. I love the texture on it. And obviously it's got Garchomp, it's got Machamps, got a lot of my Starmie, a lot of my favorites. So it's solid.
Yeah, there's some cool alternate arts in here. I do like the Machamp is probably like one of my favorite alternate arts. Also from a playability standpoint, it does have the Reggie lines, which were big. It's got Palkia V-Star, which was also really big. And then you have other cards like Irida Full Art. You have like the regular holographic Irida, which was super important in competitive play. Same thing with Switch Cart, which was just I used to talk a lot about like ancillary value in sets outside of just like your big hitters, because then that helps average your cost value of what you're opening.
Yeah.
So like Switch Cart at the time selling for, a couple bucks a piece, but being a more common pull helps with value a little bit. Same thing with the holographic rare Irida. So whenever you have like some of those cards, that definitely helps. I don't know if I rank it as high as like a Brilliant Stars. I think it's the bottom 2 of the trainer gallery sets, but Astral was still a very good set. So what do you
my gut says that this is like the perfect C tier set from a collection standpoint. What do you guys think?
I personally have Astral on B, but behind Fusion.
See, that's where we run into a little bit of struggle here, because what qualifies it then? Like, I almost feel like we're afraid to put something in the C tier, but is it really that big of a deal? Because no matter what, that's still the rank behind Fusion. So, yeah, I mean, it's a good set for sure.
Yeah. C is still good. I don't know
if it's as good. I mean, I could argue above Fusion, and I can also see the argument behind Fusion. So I'm just fine putting it behind Fusion, whether that's B tier or C tier. That's fine.
I'm probably biased just because it has some of my favorite species in there. So you guys choose, and I'll just quietly just kind of hide in the corner.
Let's go here.
I think what you said was good. Like behind Fusion, I think is good. Better than Battle Styles behind Fusion. I think that's good.
I think that's right too. Okay. Our next set, I think it's Pogo. It is.
Ooh, very, very controversial set here.
The Mewtwo alternate art I really like.
I
think it's cool.
Yeah,
Full Art Dragonite isn't bad.
The Mewtwo, the alt art, Danny, one of the first cards that I like for whatever reason had insisted on pulling it because I opened enough of this set and was like, I saw the pull rates were good enough that it made sense. Like I had a good chance of pulling one. Big regrets. I opened like a whole case of ETBs and pulled it out of like the last one. It's terrible.
Also, the peelable Ditto was probably the best concept Pokemon has done in a long time.
Yeah.
Radiant Charizard was very good competitively. Outside of that, Ditto was okay. It's an okay set, but it just Snorlax was very good competitively. It came out it seemed like it was 5 years too late.
Yeah, it came out late, and then there was.
Mm,
I remember thinking there was just so much missed opportunity, right? Because you get this Mewtwo, you get the Conch Elder, where it's like, okay, kind of a more lifelike artwork because we're supposedly seeing this, on our phone in the wild in New York or wherever we are.
right.
I felt like they could have done like 10 more artworks like
Mm-hmm.
that. They could have, like, why not? Like, put the T-Tar, put the Steelix,
Yeah.
like, give me 10 more of those. It's
Yeah.
a specialty set. Like, it should be full of hits.
Yeah. I'm with you. It has some cool mons in it.
Yeah,
And
Mewtwo Mutar. Like, that's
feel-
a cool mon.
Yeah. There's a lot of cool mons in it. Gosh, it just feels weak to me. This is like, I mean, yeah, the Mewtwo's cool. I'm totally with you. Why didn't they do 10 more of these?
Yeah.
Totally. That would completely change the set as far as like the nostalgia. It hardly feels like a Pogo set. It just has the little Pogo stamp on
Yeah,
it. What do
and
we
the
think?
disappointment I felt pulling those like 50 of those Malmetal Vs, the full arts, when it could have been something better. Terrible.
To me, this is somewhere in this like low D range.
I've got E probably like behind Vivid, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like those few sets are so close together. Like, I mean, Shining Fates, I do think this is probably worse than Champion's Path. I mean, I can see behind Viv. We can put it in E. That's fine.
Okay.
I like Jake's mindset here. I just don't think there's enough.
I love this comment. Danny, were you selling at MSRP back then?
No, I couldn't sell anything at MSRP back then.
No one was selling Pogo for MSRP. Like, it lasted on Target shelves for years.
I cannot. So completely irrelevant to what we're talking about, but the only products you could ever sell at MSRP prior to like this last boom. I don't know if you could ever sell a product at MSRP, even when the pandemic was going on. Like, booster boxes weren't selling at MSRP. Like,
No.
Evolving Skies got to like 130, 140 before they reprinted. So at the launch of a new product, MSRP, you couldn't ever sell at MSRP for anything. It's crazy. I still have a lot of Pokemon Go.
You said you still have a lot of it?
Yeah. Oh, a ton. Yeah.
I love it.
I mean, tins, collection boxes. I have a ton of it still. I mean, you got force allocated so much of it, and nobody ever bought it, so I just never even really put it up. Lost Origin is S tier for me.
Whoa.
Wow.
This is the perfect.
You were big on the Rotom, weren't you?
I was big. That's one of my favorite artworks for alternate arts, but also you have the Giratina. The Trainer Gallery is probably the best out of all of them. The Aerodactyl is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, true.
From a playability standpoint, it's got Comfey, it's got Sableye, this is the perfect blend of everything a set needs. This is the Phantom Forces of Sword and Shield. This has everything. So that's why I am very much S tier on Lost Origin.
Wow. Making me feel like I need to go buy more boxes now that it's Danny.
I mean, I wasn't thinking S for Lost Origin, but it is amazing. And obviously I'm coming at this like with minimal knowledge on the TCG. Knowing your passion for it from a playability standpoint is an interesting factor. I mean, these Pikachus are great. The Trainer Gallery is really cool. I feel like it has a set identity, like it has a vibe. This Pikachu, the Sleeping Pikachu, like my favorite. I mean, it's not that inexpensive anymore. For a while, my favorite inexpensive modern card. Yeah. It's just so sweet and slice of life and anime. It's a great one. Obviously, we've got like the Shinji Kanda hype on this.
Yes.
This really starts the Shinji Kanda thing from a collection standpoint. It's very strong. Jake, would you put it in S tier?
I think if we're talking about the two best sets from Sword and Shield, it's Evo Skies and then second is either Brilliant or Lost, in my opinion. And so I'm okay with it being in our S tier for Sword Shield because it's kind of like right on the cusp for that kind of second place next to Brilliant.
Yeah, wait, what about Crown Zenith? We're going to talk about this soon, but
hey, I'm just talking about for me. You know, I'm a main series set person. I love booster boxes, so I don't know what to say about that. Plus, in my mind, CZ, like it did impact me how much of it they printed. So that's just kind of where I'm at. Yes.
Okay. We'll come back to this. I don't love your takes at all. But I mean, Danny's gonna riot if it's not an S tier. I think
I won't riot if it. Well, yeah, I will, because I think that I think Lost Origin is the best set in the Sword and Shield block, and I will. I mean, I'm not gonna fight about it, but I do. Like, I will.
You will log off.
I will throw out my reasoning why, and I think I've already made it pretty clear as far as like. This is basically, as far as artwork goes, and people are going to talk about Evolving Skies because of the alternate arts, and I get that. But this trainer gallery rivals Brilliant Stars, in my opinion, as the best of the best. You have low, easy pull rates that are fantastic artworks, like that Sleeping Pikachu, like that Snorlax, like that Charizard. Amazing, amazing artworks that are easy to pull. And then you have harder ones like the Pikachu and the Pikachu VMAX, which are textured, beautiful, beautiful cards. You have the playability aspect of everything. You have the chase aspect with the Aerodactyl and the Giratina. This set just has everything. So that is why, while Evolving Skies has amazing chase, this has amazing chase plus amazing playability. So, and better pull rates because you have the trainer gallery. So that is why I'm very much into the S tier.
Wow. I mean, in my mind, if it's in the S tier, then so is Evo. Like, I can't in my right mind.
I'm with you.
Put anything in Sword Shield above Evo. So like that's like where I am. But I'm comfortable with it being in the S tier.
But then chat's gonna riot if we're only doing 2 S tiers, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, now Crown Zenith has to fall to A tier.
Crown Zenith is an A tier for me. It so is.
Crown Zenith is it's so good.
Crown Zenith is so good. It does lose on the playability aspect, but it is amazing as far as artwork goes.
Can we have 3 in the S tier? I'm with Jake that having.
I'm okay with that. I am okay with it.
Let's do this for now. We can always change it later. We make all the rules, right?
Technically, yeah, we're allowed to do whatever we want.
It's our stream. We can do whatever we want. Silver Tempest.
Easy A for me. It's great. It's back end of the generation. The Lugia is like, I think, and again, this is just my dirty, rotten, scummy vendor speak, but like Lugia V might be the most transacted card at every card show I've ever been at. Like, it's everyone wants to buy, sell, trade this card.
It was one of the first big alt arts I bought. It was like $200 before the alt art boom in last summer. And I bought it for like $200, and it blew up to like $260 a week later. And I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, "Is this stonks? Like,
babe, I'm rich.
I'm rich, dude." It is a great card. There's part of me that feels like this set is like very carried by that card from a collection standpoint.
And the Rayquaza.
Yeah, the Rayquaza, the trainer gallery Rayquaza.
Yeah, I remember seeing that they put the Regidrago as the alt art there, and I was like, oh man, like you couldn't have given me anything else, you know? Like, give me a Ho-Oh. There's a full art Ho-Oh and not an alt art. Like, why?
Yeah, I really struggle with this set. To me, it feels very much like Astral Radiance. Like, I can see it go ahead of Astral. I can see it go behind Astral. There's not a whole lot driving this set from outside of like that Lugia. Like, the whole full art still is cool. Like, I still do like that. The Rayquaza is cool, but the trainer gallery to me leaves a lot to be desired compared to when you put it up, stack it up against Brilliant Stars and Lost Origin. So like the Lugia V carries the set hard.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing devil's advocate, which apparently I'm doing all the time tonight.
Thank you. That's very nuanced and thoughtful of you.
Outside of the Lugia V and the Rayquaza. So let's just make this simple. So Lugia V probably better than Machamp as far as the chases go.
Yes.
But after that, Rayquaza, is that better than Astral's got the Starmie?
Starmie and Garchomp.
And
It
Garchomp.
has Dialga Palkia alt arts.
Right. So does that move Astral then a little bit ahead of Silver Temple? Because there's more. So
Yeah.
while it might have the bigger chase, does Astral have more chases?
Look at
And
Danny.
I'm not trying to
appealing my
convince you
love
otherwise.
for Astral Radiance. You're so wise. You're so wise to do that because I'll go to bat for Astral. So
Okay.
I'm here for it being behind Astral Radiance.
Yeah, I think this is perfect. I couldn't agree more. I think it's exactly where it belongs. And we finish Sword and Shield block on Crown Zenith.
Uh-oh. Chat's gonna riot.
Yeah,
This is an amazing, dude. It's so much fun. You talked about how available it is, and I think that's your dirty, rotten vendor brain, because how available it is totally a pro for this. You had a long time to rip this set into oblivion at a reasonable price. You've got these 4 gold gods.
I'm just bitter because I didn't have a Sam's Club membership and get to buy pallets of it like everybody else in the world.
This Mewtwo is insane. The 3 dogs. This Luminion is great. One of the better like sub $15 cards collection wise. Danny, talk to us about playability here.
Yeah, it's all reprinted stuff. So everything in here, like a lot of stuff is playable because it was already printed in one aspect. You just mentioned the Luminion, like that was a very playable card. Also you had the Comfy, which obviously has a trainer gallery. Bibarel was big. Like there's a lot of cards in here that are great. And the great thing about Crown Zenith when it first came out, like if you want to be a dirty, rotten, not so much scalper store owner, but somebody who just wants to sell at MSRP, Crown Zenith was not as available upon release because they did a staggered release schedule.
Yeah.
So for the first like 4 months, it was very much an MSRP set and even scalped a little bit. Because there was that demand, but then they kept coming out with more and more waves of it, and substantially, like if we're looking at like long-term potential of a set, Crown Zenith, I mean, where the price point is now, like you got to figure, assuming pack rips are going to be a thing 20 years from now, like people are always going to want to rip this ahead of Evo Skies, ahead of Lost Origin, ahead of everything else because of the pull rates. You get 7 hits per ETB, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
You've got some great trainer gallery art or Galarian gallery artwork in the front half with the Mew that you just highlighted. The Manaphy is beautiful. You've got some beautiful supporters. That I think that Pikachu secret rare right there, even at $35 or whatever it is right now, is still probably one of like the best upside cards, despite the fact that it has easier pull rates. It is just always going to be like this was a $7 card for a long time.
That card
I think it just
has had such
upside.
an insane journey because you remember this, Danny. Like when it came out and it was announced that it was a secret rare, it went to like $100 pre-release. And then like people realized it was way easier to pull. And then obviously we had the cooldown in 2022, 2023. Yeah, like you found that in like bargain binders at card stores for years. And now it's getting its flowers finally.
Yeah, but you look at like the stained glass bird promo from Hidden Fates, which was in every single ETB, and you look at, okay, well, how many of those are in existence? Now, Crown Zenith is probably S tier. I can be fine with A tier, but Crown Zenith is a really, really strong set that's going to be loved, in my opinion, for a super long. Plus, you have the 4 gold cards that form a picture together. Like, how many sets will have a chase that literally forms a story? Like that's.
Yeah, that's true. Crazy. Gosh, guys, my vendor brain got me. The artwork is the best.
Your vendor brain did get you on this one, man.
Sorry, guys. All I think about is money. I'm a terrible person.
Hey, even from a money standpoint, the money is now there. It's just tainted from like $24 TikTok ETBs like 2 years ago.
It is tainted, yeah. And maybe some of the videos I've seen of these people who like legitimately had like warehouses of sea and sky boxes because they had people just like wheeling shopping, like trains of shopping carts out of Sam's Club. It just made me sick.
Crown Zenith is an incredible set. And just hearing about the playability of it. Yeah. Literally what's wrong with the hobby. I'm looking at this thinking we might have gotten it right. The lack of a C is kind of funny to me, but I kind of feel like we're pretty darn close here on Sword.
I have a feeling we're going to get some C's in Scarlet Violet.
Okay.
I feel like this is very close to correct, except that Evolving Skies and Lost Origin should flip. And then it would be actually 100% right. There it is.
That's crazy.
Now it's 100% correct.
That's so crazy, Danny. Like, I don't know how you can do that. Like, Evolving Skies is like the crack cocaine of Pokemon cards.
It is, but it's, I don't know, like in my mind, it's so much more than just like everybody loves the gamble and everybody loves the chase. And yeah, Evo Sky's got like the biggest perspective, like, or whatever the word is, that value that you can pull. And that's fantastic. That's great. But it's so much more to a set than just that I don't know if like that carries a set's value enough.
Okay.
You can win Scarlet and Violet. I'll let you win Scarlet and Violet. I'm very, very Lost Origin.
All right, for the sake of our friendship, we can leave it right there.
Okay.
I think this is pretty close, and I understand like Danny's point of view with the playability in Lost Origin, making it a good set for collectors and players, and Jake the your history with it, ripping it like a degenerate on Zoom calls, as well as into today. That Moonbryon, I think, is the icon of this era, yes. And it really marks something special for vendors and collectors in the modern era. So I can see where the argument is for all of these. I look, I think in terms of where like exactly where they are in the tiers, I think we got the tiers about right. I'm liking where it's at. Should we move on to Scarlet Violet?
Let's dive in.
Scarlet Violet base. So let's I'll jump to.
This was, I think, the last set. I'm sorry, I keep talking about myself, so sorry, guys.
It's okay.
But this was the last set that, like, I pre-ordered in bulk to, like, open a bunch for myself. It was, like, the last time that I really did that. I was really excited about it. And I loved what I heard, which was that the pull rates were easier. Mm-hmm. Because I had memories of, like, tough pull rates from Sword and Shield.
Yeah, ridiculously easy compared to Sword and Shield. Like you're looking at like 1.5 special illustration rares per booster box, which was crazy. Yeah. But Scarlet and Violet is one of those sets that I don't think anybody really appreciated when it came out because pull rates were so easy and they saw the values tank.
Yeah.
But now going back on it, you look at it and you're like, wow, some of these artworks are absolutely incredible. And you have connecting artworks with the Spide Ops. You have the storyline cards with the Ralts and the Curlia and the Gardevoir.
It's Riolu.
Awesome. Yeah, the other thing that happened, and kind of remind me if I'm wrong here, Danny, but like what happened, Scarlet Violet base comes out, and for like maybe the first week, you like the value got up to like maybe $95, maybe $100 a box, and then they very quickly like put more quantity on the market, and then they followed up with like a huge booster box reprint of Lost and Silver Tempest, and so people and then so people were like, oh my gosh, like why would I care about Scarlet Violet if I can get Lost Origin for $85 a box? Like no one could sell Scarlet Violet base forever. People were trying to like sell it for like $78 a box at one point. And so I think that really like impacted people's opinion of it and like what it could do long term, because it just got absolutely debased.
Yeah, a lot of people like investor driven content was very popular in its infancy at the time of release of that. And you were looking at stuff selling out on Pokemon Center's website, which we never had before. And a lot of people were like, oh, look, it's back in stock, Lost Origin back in stock, like buy that instead, because you see the immediate upside.
Right.
So people were focusing on that, and then Scarlet and Violet base just kind of left to the base side.
The other thing is they introduced a new MSRP for Scarlet Violet base.
Yeah, went up to
they increased MSRP by what, like $20 or something like that. Maybe was it $18 just because they increased it by like 50 cents a pack, I think is what they did technically.
Yep.
So that's kind of an interesting thing. But I love the artwork to this day. In my mind, this is a classic C. I think it's the perfect place for it.
I like it in high C, probably. Looking back at it, the thing with this that really holds it back for me collection-wise is the sort of top end of the set is a little weak. Like most of these, other than the Gardevoir, and the Arven and the connecting art with the Arven and the Mabostiff, I don't really. Most of these don't do much for me, but the illustration rares are amazing, and the introduction of it. I like C for it. Danny, where are you at?
I mean, I would be higher, but mostly because like you had Miraidon, which was extremely playable, Gardevoir,
Sure.
which is probably the most playable. Arvin got printed. Like they again introduced a bunch of great competitive cards, which are still being played literally today and winning tournaments. And again, with like to me, the sets that tell like have those connecting artworks and those story cards aren't always things that pop out in sets. So having two of them in the same set is kind of nostalgic, or could be kind of nostalgic down the road for a set like Scarlet and Violet base. I mean, the Drowsy is amazing. The Slowpoke is incredible. Even some of the lower tier artworks, like the Dondozo, like is beautiful. So I'm not against a C because most of it is really just important about where the order comes. So I'm not like, if you want to do C, that's fine. But I would probably be above C.
Okay, let's drop it here for now. Bottom of B tier. C continues to evade. Let's go to Paldea Evolved. I love the Tandem Mousehold commons, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean these are pretty good. A lot of
this set
connecting
was
arts.
so strong, and like this was like really where they went pretty big on illustration rares, right? It was
Yeah.
like from a quantity standpoint, is this the most illustration rares in a set,
Yep.
Danny?
This is it. Most ones.
Yeah. So like, and then obviously like the story of the Magikarp coming out, and then all of a sudden people deciding that it should be like a super expensive card. Because like I remember being at like a tiny card show where I live. Someone came up to my table like the week that it pumped from like $20 to like $80, and I was like, "This is a bubble. I don't want your Magikarp. Get this out of my face." And I obviously made a boo boo there.
This Iono is pretty iconic for the era, I feel like.
Yes.
Also, like the best playable card at the time. Like this to me, and you guys can argue what you want here. This is one of the top two sets in Scarlet and Violet, so I would go S tier for this one.
Wow.
From
let me look at what we got coming.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I like at least A. I think
I'm here for A because
yeah.
I know what's coming up in Scarlet and Violet, and I have some strong feelings about a couple of these.
I told you could win Scarlet and Violet, so now I'm already regretting that.
Thanks
so
for playing moderator, Ricky, while Danny and I just go to war.
Hey,
I will, yeah, we'll do A, and then I cannot wait to hear your two sets that are better than this. I can probably get behind one of them. I'm assuming we're thinking the same line.
Yeah.
And if not, that'll be really interesting.
Okay. Let's put it there for now, and then I'm gonna do it like this with the URLs because I don't know how to navigate the original. Okay, card database. No. Cool. We can go back to the other website if this does not load. This was loading earlier. I tested it. Let's see if it's going to do our next one. It is. Okay, so it's just for Obsidian for some reason. I don't know if that's
It's all right. Danny wants to delete all Obsidian product from the face of the planet.
I do. Wait, no, not Obsidian. I will surprise you with Obsidian.
Oh.
Maybe.
Obsidian, honestly, I really, really enjoyed opening because like you could master the set by opening a case of it. Like that was so fascinating. And I actually did that. I was only missing, I think, one card. And then the illustration rares in this set are extremely strong, in my opinion. Like the Cleffa is an iconic Pokemon card.
Yeah.
The Ninetales, the Larvitar, Houndour, all of it.
Even the Gloom. The Gloom is amazing.
The Gloom. Cool. Yeah, like literally such strong artworks.
It has my boy Scizor.
Yeah, the Pidgey line. Like I think the Pidgeot from this set is so slept on. Like this should be like a $50 card, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it was so easy to pull. So
yeah, true.
Supply of it is so, which is why you have such low prices for the SIRs in the set outside of the Charizard. Which was extremely playable. Charizard and Pidgeot were both extremely playable. Then you had the Arvin, which got reprinted in this set, also very playable. So this is way better than Darkness Ablaze by far for a Charizard set.
Better than Scarlet Violet base, better than Silver in my opinion, but behind Astral. That's where I'm at it. That's where I have it.
Wow. Danny,
Danny's like, get out.
I think it's C for me. My connection with it is this is the first thing I ripped to get back into cards. So I do have an
Danny
emotional
like literally
connection.
cracks up, came to look at the screen. He's like, this guy's an idiot.
I'm glad you said C, so I didn't have to.
Okay, I like it in C, and you were having it like low B, so I think Jake, you can probably we can take this one, right? C is okay here.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
C is fair. Okay, guys, we're going to what's got to be a juggernaut here in 151.
Yeah, the Pokemon Company finally cooked. They finally cooked with this. Probably the most iconic modern set, has brought more people back into the hobby than any other set, probably in the history of Pokemon. It's S, no question.
What do you think, Danny?
So I would, okay. So this is the one set that we're going to disagree on then, which is fine. Like, I'm not disagreeing with you hard on this. This was, like you said, probably one of the most iconic sets that's ever been released.
Yeah.
Definitely the one that brought most people, and still brings people back into the hobby.
Yes.
You have kids and adults asking for this set literally all the time.
Yeah.
You have the first introduction, which is huge, of this demigod pack,
Yes,
into an
in
English sets, which has never happened before,
right,
which is amazing. I know the Charizard doesn't get as much love, in my opinion, as I think it should. I think it's absolutely amazing. I think
agree.
all the SIRs are incredible, except for probably the Giovanni's meh and the Erica is kind of mad. But other than that, like, beautiful SIRs and illustrationers across the board. It's got the Mew EX, which is very playable. I wish they would have had the Sunset Mew in the set and done something different for the UPC promo, but it is what it is. Not that big of a deal. It's a solid A tier for me. If you want to say this is better than Paldea Evolved, I will be hard pressed to be convinced of that, but I'm not going to fight you on it or argue with you on it.
I think from an objective quality of a set, I agree with you on every count, Danny, but I have to also factor in like the waves this set made just in introduction of new people to the hobby. Like you said, iconic, right? It has, I think this set single-handedly changed the entire market of Pokemon cards across the world. Just because, like, when you introduce so many new collectors to the hobby, then so many.
See, that's like your trump card right there that you can play for any set. Like with me, is if you're talking about bringing more people into the hobby and bringing collectors into the hobby and people, like, that's all you need to say to me for me to be like, okay, yeah, I can get behind that. Then that's fine. If you're like perspective value, you're like, yeah, PSA 10, like that, I'm going to struggle. But if you're like, no, this is increasing the longevity of the game and then yep, you got me.
Yes,
that's good.
Like
that's
the 1-2 punch of 151 coming out, and then they drop TCG Pocket. It's just insane. Like it brought in millions of new people.
S tier for me as well, given the influence, how fun the Japanese set is to open as well. Printed a lot of supply of the Japanese as well. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to love about it that you've already both said. My hot take on it is maybe that it could have been better. Like the Ammonite, you know, not to hate on these cards because they're cool, but like there could have been more illustration rares, and I think to Danny's point, that's where like Paldea Evolved has it's in the conversation because of that illustration rare list.
Yeah,
this is like a relatively thin like illustration rare list, and
what's so fascinating about this set is that they decide to do it like this, but then in the same generation release Black Bolt and White Flare,
right?
Where you give an illustration rare to every single mod in the Pokedex. Like that's crazy.
Exactly.
Why can we not do that for Kanto? It's insane.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if this site is going to work for us for this. As we go to Paradox Rift. We've had no 10-second sets yet, by the way, guys. We're about to hit 2 hours. I think we're doing kind of okay on time. It's gonna.
We've had some quick ones, some quicker ones, some longer ones.
Paradox. I struggled with Paradox. I was still in my days of like buying and trying to rip close to release here, and I intentionally didn't buy much of this set. I don't love Roaring Moon in comparison to just a straight up regular Salamence, and Altaria is freaking awesome. The Garchomp, I'm actually super sad about. Like, it's a weak artwork of one of my favorite mons. So, yeah, pretty rough for me here on Paradox.
Chat's saying C, and C is what came to mind for me. What do you think, Danny?
I think the illustration rares really carry the set. You have the connecting Gimmighoul, Goldango. Goldango, obviously one of the most competitive mons that there's been in the TCG. Yeah. You have the Plusle and the Minun, which connect. The Evital's beautiful. The Groudon is obviously gorgeous. This is the second most illustration rares in the Scarlet and Violet era, which is great. Iron Hands, obviously one of the best cards in the set. I think the Sunset Tapu Koko is beautiful. I think this is a solid B set. I think this is one of the better sets, but definitely not the best set. It's very competitive, and it's got some good artworks.
Where does it compare to Scarlet Violet Base and Obsidian Flames?
I have Obsidian ahead of it personally, but you guys don't like Obsidian as much as I do.
I would have it above Scarlet and Violet Base.
Agreed.
Yeah.
The only Obsidian Flames just doesn't have enough. You know, like Obsidian Flames could have been a better set, but there wasn't enough there. And it was great that you could pull so much, but pull rates at that time in the Scarlet and Violet block were like so goated anyways. Like you were pulling 2 secret rares a box, every single box. So I feel like if they were going to do that, they should have put more in the set.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Paradox feels like a C to me, but I think with where we have things ranked right now, it kind of makes sense around here.
Yeah, I might petition to bring all 3 of those down to C, honestly.
I might too.
He was getting too overloaded.
That actually, yeah.
I can't put Paradox and Fusion on the same line. That does not.
That's fair. That's fair.
That is fair. Or Astral for that matter.
Yeah.
I'm okay. Okay. I think we're in agreement on this one. We are moving to Paldean Fates.
Wow. One of the most iconic chase cards since the Moonbryon. Actually, probably the most iconic since Moonbryon. A huge set of baby shinies that include Charmander and Charmeleon. You have SIR Charizard. Pikachu, Pikachu, Raichu. You got baby shiny Snorlax in here. Like, lots to love going on here.
Another very master setted set.
Yes. I was really sad because, again, like you have Hidden Fates that has such a cool shiny vault of full arts. And then in Shining Fates and Paldean Fates, the full art shiny vault is so tiny and full of non-popular species. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, you have the Gardevoir, you have the Mew, you have the Alakazam. Both of those are all 3 of those are nice. I think Paldean Fates, I don't know if there's an SIR that I dislike. Maybe the Nimona is like meh, but all the other ones are like absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
they're cool.
The Clive is so good.
Yeah, that carries because that's all that really can carry because there are basically no IRs in the set.
Right.
I love this Gardevoir personally. I'm not even like a huge Gardevoir person. I just think this card is so good.
It is so good.
It's so good. This is feeling like it's somewhere in here in the B-ish.
Yeah, I think I have it probably honestly above Astral, below Fusion.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right. Let's for the sake of time, let's keep it rolling. We are going to temporal forces.
This is an interesting set.
Yeah, I do like the idea of paradox Pokemon, but temporal forces is kind of a mess set. It's got some cool stuff, like Raging Bolt is really cool. I don't know. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, I really didn't have any love for the paradox legendaries.
Me either.
So like the only thing in this entire set for me is the Gengar and the Ghastly. Honestly,
Yeah, I think people like me, maybe me. The fact that you have a full art Gengar and you didn't make an SIR out of
Right.
it is just like, I feel like that almost brings temporal down a little bit.
Swing
And
and
I know,
miss.
yeah, you've got the Morty's Conviction, which has Gengar, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
This Deerling Sawsbuck is great.
Yeah, the connecting artwork.
Yes,
that
the
you have.
Lickitung actually really strong. I love Bronzor, Arbok. You know, I know a lot of people are trying to do like a full art 151 set, and so Arbok and Lickitung being in there is really good for them. But yeah, the SIRs for me are just like whiff.
Totally. I completely agree. This Morty's has the Gengar in it, but yeah, these, yeah, they don't do it.
I
for me.
remember on release, people like trying to trade in the Iron Leaves to my table, and I just had to like frankly tell them no, because like I don't care how much it's worth. I don't want it. I don't like it.
I think I would put it around here.
Yes, I'm okay with that.
Sure, that's fine.
Okay. Okay. We are moving on.
Danny, don't let me win all the time.
No, I mean, I can get behind things like Temporal does have some okay competitive cards. Honestly, when Temporal came out, I did like the Paradox a lot more. I still think that some of them, the SIRs, are really, really cool. I just don't know if there's enough compared to some of the other sets that really carry it. Like, I don't know, like maybe it's better than Obsidian Flames, but I think you're so close. Like you're kind of splitting hairs almost. So I feel like I cannot make an argument strong enough to put it ahead of Obsidian Flames.
If someone offered me like a box to open of Obsidian versus Temporal, it'd be easy for me.
Yeah,
Me
Temporal.
Oh. Lol.
The chat is, that one was a controversial one, but it's okay. I think the chat will still like us okay as we move on to Twilight Masquerade.
Twilight Masquerade is so fascinating because I remember like the hype before it was super minimal. Like people were very disappointed, at least from what I remember. And then once it came out and people like got the Greninja in their hands and the Eevee, they were like, "Oh wait, like this is sick." And then it feels like they didn't reprint booster boxes ever, or at least if they did, it was very minimal restock. Does that sound right, Danny?
Yeah. And the thing, I mean, Twilight, this is probably one of the weaker runs, in my opinion, of illustration rares. Now, that's not saying much because I do like a lot of illustration rares. So I would say that there's still a decent amount of illustration rares in here that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
But not as much as some of the other sets. So I do like the Tatsugiri a lot. I do like the Chikorita or the Chansey a lot. The Hisuian Growlithe, the connecting with the Perrin, that's really cool.
Extremely good.
Competitive wise, there's some good cards in Twilight Masquerade. Buddy Poffin. Teal Mask Ogerpon, obviously big. Blood Moon Ursaluna does well. So it is definitely a decent set. I feel like it was a good follow-up to Temporal Forces in the regard that it's like equal to Temporal Forces, and now I feel like we ranked Temporal Forces too low.
I don't know. Twilight destroys Temporal for me.
It's ahead of it for me too.
Like, yeah, Perrin and Carmine are like actually trainers I would want to pull.
So maybe we go like, are you liking it more than you like Obsidian Flames?
Yeah, I'm Twilight over Obsidian and over SV base personally.
So maybe like right there. Yeah.
Do we have Temporal too low? Or are we okay with it here for now?
I'm a Temporal hater. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
I feel like I'm letting Jake win too much, like he said. I just don't want to be the guy that hates Obsidian Flames because I don't hate Obsidian Flames. But then I'm looking at, I'm like, is Temporal really worse than Obsidian Flames?
What if we put it? I am with Jake personally that I would rather open a box of Obsidian than Temporal personally.
See,
I'd
I'm
rather
not
open
in
Battle
that.
Styles over Temporal too.
Oh man. Okay.
Bottom of C, we upgraded a little bit.
All right.
Okay. I like Twilight around here feels about right to me as well. So let's move on. We are going to Shrouded Fable. We are going to have some takes.
Oh my God, S tier, right, Danny?
I can't
Nah,
wait.
I mean, Shrouded Fable's not the best set. It's not bad though, and it's something that in my mind is driven a lot by competitive play because of what it's done. Like obviously Pheasantipity is one of the most competitive cards to ever be printed. Night Stretcher, same thing. Both those cards are extremely good. I do like the illustration rares in this set. I understand they do have a very like AI feel to them, but the Persian is great. I like the Zorua a lot.
Me too.
I like the Dusknor line a ton. I think that's fantastic, and Dusknor was extremely competitive. And then you also have reprints of like Monkey Dory, and I mean there's just good cards in the set. And I think what this set lacks is a true chase. And that's what gives this set so much hate, is that they don't have, like, it was thought, okay, well, maybe it'll be Cassiopeia, but it wasn't. And I feel like that hurts the set a lot.
I totally agree.
Missed opportunity for a really cool Haxorus card in this set, in my opinion. And yeah, no big chase. Like you got Houndoom, Persian. I mean, those two illustration rares by themselves are really fun to pull. Dusknor line also very cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna have Cresselia, why not give me a really cool Darkrai card, right?
Yeah, that was a big miss.
I feel like not having a Darkrai SIR, that is what this set is missing. It's something like that. A dark or poison Pokemon that is just a little more popular than these. I get that the set was built around these guys, and I respect that this set has set identity. It has a feel. And, I actually also kind of respect the fact that it was available. Not vendor brained of me, but like it was the one thing you could get in a vending machine for a little while. So if you wanted to open at MSRP, you could. And the other thing that we didn't talk about because they're not showing up here, but we did it for 151. We should talk about it here. The Greninja and Kingdra, exactly what I was going to say. So Trey's a step ahead of me. The Greninja and Kingdra are incredible promos, but they only come from those collection boxes. I do think those push it up, and we should count it in this because it is Shrouded Fable. Those are the only products I bought and opened of Fable personally.
Same.
Okay.
The Kingdra promo, one of the better artworks of the generation.
I completely agree. And so in terms of playability, so okay, Danny, I thought you were gonna fight for it a little bit harder. Where are we putting Shrouded?
I would be above Battle Styles, but below Temporal Forces.
I agree.
I love it. I think
Dang,
that's
that
fair.
was way too easy.
I think that's fair. I mean, I do have the love for the Greninja and the Kingdra are making it like almost here for me, but I get it. I think that's a reasonable place to put it. Let's go to Stellar Crown. This was also a pretty available, not super loved set when it came out, and I think still right now it's one of the lower value Esfera boxes.
It's not actually. I'm pretty sure Stellar Crown, for whatever reason, is up at like $290.
Yeah.
Is it?
Stellar Crown is expensive, and there's really not. You want to talk about no true chase? Like Terapagos was supposed to be good, and it just has not been.
Yeah.
It's got some cool SIRs. This is such a small set, very small, and I feel like this set is just driven by Bulbasaur and Squirtle, and that's it. Like in my opinion, this is the worst SV set.
Yeah, huge miss not to have an SIR Lapras in this set. Because you get the gold rare in the giant box, and you get the regular full art here. Like, what are we doing with no SIR Lapras? Yeah. And then, like you said, Danny, and the other fascinating thing about this set is like it's the last set that came out before like we started this new current market cycle that we're in, where things just started to go to the moon. Like technically surging, like pre-orders you could still get for cheap, but like right when it came out, everything took off. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a second. But Stellar, it kind of was like on the latter end of things being slower and lower.
So do you think the Obsidian Flames promo Charmander carries value for the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle, or do you think it's the other way around where the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle carry value for the Charmander?
The other way around, I think, because the Charmander is good, but until we got announced that those other two were coming out in this set, Obsidian Flames ETBs were not expensive. And then once this kind of got announced, those ETBs in the grading play really exploded, don't you think?
To an extent, but also Charmander, that Charmander in specific, it became the ideal Charmander for the Charizard competitive line in play also. So, I mean, it's really apples to oranges. It doesn't matter too much, but it's just interesting. Like, what if we didn't have that Charmander promo? Would this Bulbasaur and Squirtle be more expensive? Would they be more in desired? I don't know if it would even make an impact. To me, this is a very like low C set, like worse than, I mean, I know there's a lot of Shrouded Fable hate. I think this is worse than Shrouded Fable, but at the same time, if you guys want to open it more than Shrouded Fable, that's fine. I would prefer to open Shrouded over this set. No,
Stellar Crown, I think, is the epitome of buy the Squirtle Bulbasaur and never open a pack. That's what it seems like to me. So I'm fine with it being, honestly, I think it's in D, probably.
Sure.
Maybe even behind Battle Styles.
I think it's somewhere in that range.
Because the Tyranitar and the Empoleon, I think, carry the Bulbasaur Squirtle, in my opinion.
Remember when we didn't have any C's, and now it's like our highest tier?
I think Jake had said it was Scarlet Violet was going to put a lot of C's in this. I think,
because Sword and Shield is so like this huge dichotomy of like epic sets and garbage sets. And Scarlet and Violet is a much healthier mix.
I do love these two illustration rares. The contrast of the warm and cool colors is very cool. And I totally agree with you, Jake. Imagine if this Terapagos was, or had in addition to it, a rainbow border Lapras that was sort of like this vibe.
That would be sick.
Oh, it'd be so sick.
Like, why not? You know, and Lapras is such a dynamic Pokemon. Like, it can use Psychic and Thunderbolt and Ice Beam and certainly you could have it doing crazy things like battling on the water or something. Like, so many cool options.
It is, it is one of those moments where that set comes out and you're like, hey, maybe the Pokemon Company hates money. But Surging Sparks, like you said, this to me is like really a turning point in the market, is right around this surging November, prismatic January. Things really changed. A lot of people hated this Pikachu. This melodic is epic. The connecting artwork with Vivas.
The melodic Latios, really great trainers in here.
Yep.
Illustration rare, like Skarmory is fire, like so good.
It is. Yeah. Really metallic, right?
Yeah, I love the Spheal. I love
the Ceruledge is awesome.
The Ceruledge is so good. Where's that Slack Off where he's, oh my goodness. We got Doug Trio with hair. I'm a surging believer. I'm a huge surging proponent.
What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I like Surging Sparks. I think it's got some good IRs in it. The SIRs, I think, carry the set. Like you were talking before about the Pikachu and the Milotic. And then, I mean, the Latias and the Hydreigon, you can throw all those in there. Like, they're also good. Even the Durant, I think, is great. Just because it's a connecting card that features itself, which I think is very, very cool. So I think that those carry the set fairly well. It's a little bit bigger of a set, which helps.
Yep.
Introduced
like the first really good gold card, right? With the Pika.
I do love this Executor.
Yeah, the Hawaiian vibes that it brings. It's so good.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think this is somewhere in the like low A, high B. The question starts to become like, how does it compare to Chilling and Fusion?
Wow, great point. Yeah, I probably have it there ahead of Paldean. Exactly.
I do too. What do you think, Danny?
I'm not gonna. I mean, I won't argue. I would open Surging before I would open Chilling and Fusion Strike, but I think you're fine. It's right in that area, so I think that's fine.
What if they were the same price?
I would still probably open Surging Sparks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For pull rate reasons?
Pull rate reasons, definitely. IRs change the game a lot.
Yeah,
for sure. When you look at like potential of what you can pull, Like the Pikachu value wise, what card in Chilling Reign raw is worth more than that Pikachu?
Well, the Blaziken's worth more raw, but the Pikachu's worth more in a 10.
Okay.
Because
So
the print quality isn't as great.
So one card, and then you go down the list. Like, I mean, Surging has fallen a lot as far as single values go. So the Milotic, the Latias, like those are all $100-ish cards. Whereas outside of that, Blaziken, Chilling Reign doesn't have a ton that's really above 100 raw.
I think the Moltres is pretty high. Isn't Moltres like 300?
200. I thought it was like maybe it is closer to that.
Either way.
Top heavy.
Yes.
So yeah, I think, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with where it is right now.
Nice.
Okay, here we go.
Here we go. Prismatic Evolutions.
Yeah, this is gonna be the tough set. They messed up on this set so bad.
They really did, Danny. Like my biggest issue with this set, well, I guess there's two issues, but one of the big issues I have with this set is just all of the drama that surrounded it when it came out. Like the inability to access it, and that really it really changed how everyone feels about set releases, which is it's so sad. It's really tough.
Yeah, impossible to find. People waiting for hours in line. Like, that is what Prismatic is going to be remembered for.
Yeah.
And they have done a fairly decent job of printing more of it. Like, you can see like loose pack prices falling, which is great. Part of that is also because people just don't want to open it because they feel like they're not going to get anything.
Open. So tough to open. And someone said this in the chat, but like the exchange of Master Balls and Pokeballs for illustration rares is a trade I would not make again. Like that's such a miss.
Yeah, this is either you hit the highest high in a pack or the lowest low, because you pull nothing or you pull an SIR. And the problem is, even like they could have taken some of the SIRs and just turned them into IRs. Like, you get so excited when you finally see that border and you know an SIR is coming, and they're like, oh, it's an Ogerpon. Okay, well, that's really just not that exciting.
Now, the other thing to consider, though, here is you get demigod packs and full god packs, which is like the god pack idea where you pull all the evolutions in order with the Master Ball Eevee is like bonkers. At release, it gives you the chance to pull, like, no joke, $5,000 of raw value out of one pack, which is so insane for a modern set. Like that, we can't understate that.
You know, and the artwork does drive the set a lot, which is nice. They brought us Budu, which is fine competitively, but that's pretty much it.
It is a tough one. And I'll just plug, I know this is not the game we're playing, but the Terrastal, like opening Terrastal is a much better experience with the guaranteed hit per box and like pretty high availability. I opened a lot of Terrastal Festival when it came out. Barely have ever opened Prismatic.
Yep. Terrastal a better opening experience in every way.
Yeah. But there is a lot to be
goated.
What's that?
He said high class sets are goated for the opening experience.
We do have a Shinji Kanda art. This Raging Bolt's pretty cool.
The Earth Luna's fire. The Dragapult's so cool. The Surfing Cheesehead, so good.
So it is top heavy. The lack of IRs is rough. I mean, where do we put this?
It's A for me. It's A for me because of how packed the top is. Like, I can't ignore how packed it is. But like, it can't be S because of the bitter taste in my mouth.
Danny?
Yeah, I don't even know if I can get up to A. That's tough. It probably just because of the experience of finding it. Like, as a store, like just trying to figure out ways to get people product at MSRP, and the hoops like that I was trying to jump through to not get stuff botted. And then it also, like, you only get so many units. So then the frustrations that boil over when people don't get it, because those are what you see. Like you only get so many ETBs. So I get 1,000 out there to people. Well, there's 10,000 people that wanted it. So then you've got 9,000 angry people.
Yep.
So then it's just like that whole feel of the set, which makes it really tough. And then you go and like you open some of it on like pack breaks and things like that. And it's like, I just feel like I'm not pulling anything. I'm just getting Pokeball reverses and Master Ball reverses. And yeah, it's great when I pull that demigod pack for one person, but the other 40 people who got in the break, they're like not getting much of anything. So
that's a great point. Yeah, it's so feast or famine.
yeah.
I like high B-ish for this set. I think that sort of splits the difference on all of our feelings. This is a tough one because we're
Yeah,
on
it
the
is
vibe.
carried so much by the art. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We are moving on to Journey Together. We are closing in on the era.
Journey, I think perpetually underrated. Like obviously a small set, but like I love the vibe of this set. It's so quintessentially Pokemon.
Yeah,
It's
the return of trainer Pokemon, really cool concept. But like you said, a small set, which is why it probably gets a little bit more hate, because again, you don't have that feel as much of a chase card because it takes less packs to open up that Lily's Clefairy than what it would to pull that Umbreon from Prismatic, you know?
Mhm.
Same pull rate, but
that's a good point, Danny. Like I wonder if this set had appeared like earlier, like before Prismatic, you know, like if this had come out like when Stellar came out, is it more loved? Because it
they
would
could
have been
combine those two together and you would have had like one actual like decent size set.
Yeah, great point.
They would kind of go together too. I mean, we've got this.
Yep.
Oh,
ends PP up.
Yeah, this is an important card. Remember this, chat. This is Ricky's most played card.
I think this is underrated, but it's not an incredible set. Where does that put it? Like somewhere in this low B, high C-ish?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think right there. I like it there.
Perfect. Destined Rivals.
So I'm going to go, which I haven't done yet, in future speculate that this set will be decent competitively once it's had a little bit more legwork to it. Like you still have Cynthia's Garchomp, which has done okay, but we haven't really hit a rotation yet, which will make this relevant. So I'm going to assume that this will be somewhat competitive in the future, which is why I would put this at like an S tier.
Yeah, I'm at S here. I think as far as like main series sets, one of the funnest to open that I can remember.
Yeah, you want to talk about iconic sets. Like this isn't as iconic as 151, but it's not far off because people are going to love opening a Rocket tribute set for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm obviously I have a few gripes. Like why can we not put the name Rocket in the name of the set? Like how do we miss that? And I think
Team Rocket in Japanese.
Yeah, like how do we not have that? I think that we could have had like more dark influence and more maybe more throwbacks. Like we didn't get enough throwbacks to we have the Rockets Mewtwo, but we didn't get like like a Dragonite or some of the other like classic dark mons from back in the day. But
yeah, it's more of a throwback to like Gym Challenge than it is to like Team Rocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where you got that light and dark concept.
Exactly. Which is why I'm like, okay, put some of these gym cards like the Chomp and the Ho-Oh in Journey Together, and then give me more dark influence cards here. But still, even with that said, like it's impossible to see a Destined Rivals box at a relatively good price and not just want to buy it and open it.
What just to play devil's advocate here. What is like when the art was leaked before it released, people were really upset that this Mewtwo looked how it did, that it could have been cooler, that there was a cooler Mewtwo that could have, I think might have Giovanni in it in like the first set of TCG Pocket.
Yeah.
Is there like a absolute like the Moonbreon of the set? Is there like that ultimate chase in this set? That would be my counterpoint. I don't feel like there is. I love this Moltres. I think it's a great set, but like,
see, that's why I felt the Dragonite would have been so beneficial here, right? Because like, is there another Dragonite in SV? I'm trying to think. Not really.
No, or even like a Giovanni's Gyarados would have been cool.
Right. Gyarados. Yeah, I mean the kind of revelation that Mewtwo is connecting art to the ETB art is actually extremely cool that I didn't realize until recently. I don't know of a time they've ever done anything like that. But for me, it's like the Garchomp and the Nidoking carry hard. Like the Nidoking is so good for me.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's one of the best cards in the set.
Because like this is Giovanni in his gym in Viridian battling you with this Nidoking. Like we were all here. Like that's so sick.
Okay, well let's look at what we have in S. If it's an S tier, it's at the bottom. To me, I mean, like if it's just my list, I might put it top of A tier, and even there, it's like now then I have to look at the list of Paldea Evolved again. But that's just me personally. You guys both said S pretty quickly.
I have it above Paldea personally. I think long term it'll be loved more than Paldea.
See, it's difficult because I said S tier, but I also had Paldea Evolved in S tier, and I have Destined Rivals behind Paldea Evolved. So does that put Destined Rivals in A tier then? Because I think this is a worse set than Paldea Evolved, but I still think it is the second best set of the Scarlet and Violet block. With 151 behind that.
Wow.
You have it ahead of 151.
I do, but I also have both of those behind Paldea Evolved.
Right.
Yeah. And that's really just based off of the notion that eventually it will become competitive because 151 didn't bring a whole lot of competitive play. So I still think Paldea Evolved is the best set in Scarlet and Violet as far as well-rounded sets go. If we're talking about potential for the future, then yeah, Destined Rivals probably does fare better than Paldea Evolved, I think, because of just the idea of Team Rocket. But I'm going through the whole vibe of this entire scope of the set. So I can get behind S tier and I can get behind A tier behind Paldea Evolved.
Yeah, now that I'm looking at this, I love Brilliant, but like Paldea is probably ahead of Brilliant.
Ooh.
Yeah. I like this. I'm feeling good about this.
I think. Yeah, okay, we'll come back. I'm just trying to be cognizant of the time here. We are fully going to do a 3-hour pod. Let's just keep moving. Black Bolt and White Flare. Do we want to treat this as one set, or do we want to assess them individually? Oh, it's not going to let me. Is it going to be like this?
Page not found. I'm okay with it being one set because it's like one idea.
I think it is too. And all of the 156 illustration rares are across both sets.
Right.
And they were released simultaneously. Let's treat it as one set. Either of you guys have a deep connection to Gen 5?
I don't, but I have I'm quickly coming around to it. What do you think, Danny?
I do, because it's Black and White is what brought me back into the hobby after like a hiatus for a while. So I'm very connected to the set. I think the set is fantastic. The pull rates are better. I think the Pokeball and Master Ball is better for this set than what it was for Prismatic. I like the little Pokeball in Master Balls instead of just that one big one with the texturing.
Yeah.
I think the illustration rares are obviously fantastic. I do think that the special illustration rares leave a little bit of to be desired, but the addition of the Red Victini, the Black Bolt White Flare rare, the Black White rarity is really cool.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, I think the SIRs are across. If we're adding putting together as both sets, the Reshiram, Zekrom, Kyurem. I think the Kyurem is so sick and undervalued in my opinion. The Hydreigon, so much better than the Surging Sparks one in my mind. And then, the BWRs are just chef's kiss in my opinion. Those are cards that I genuinely want to own personally. And there aren't too many modern cards where I'm I have to have that.
And it seems like the SIR count is just a little low because of the amount of IRs that are in the sets.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a great question from the chat. How many gens can you say you wish this happened to above Unova? I mean,
Oh my
like
goodness, every gen.
probably like all 4 of the first 4.
Definitely Gen
Yep.
2. Like I've been waiting and hoping for a Gen 2 for a long time. Well, really since they did 151. I was like, they got to do this with Gen 2. They have to do it with Gen 2.
Yeah.
If they do this with Gen 2 or 3, I honestly will like go into financial turmoil.
Back up
to
the
open
truck, Ricky.
Yeah.
Back up the truck and dump all the money out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, this is they're strong, right? But they are unusual, and yeah, Gen 5 may be an interesting choice. Jake, when this was coming out, you and I talked on the pod about the age demographic of the people that for whom Gen 5 is nostalgic, and that this is their 151 set for a lot of people in that sort of like, you know, maybe 22 to 25 age range right now, and or maybe a little wider than that, 20 to 26 or something. But this is what they grew up on. And so, you know, it's another one of those sets that brings people into the hobby, and not that I'm trying to shill for it, Danny, but it definitely is, right? I mean, there's just people who now have money that have been ignoring it, that see this and go, wait, what? And then they open this and they're back in.
Yep.
It's strong. How strong?
I have it in A. I just personally, I'm not as nostalgic about it as I am for like some of the species that are in Prismatic, but like it doesn't carry all the drama that Prismatic does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to be ahead of Prismatic. So I think right where you have it is good.
Low A-ish.
That's actually fascinating to kind of realize though, guys, because like Black Bolt White Flare, it's compared to almost all of these sets, it's probably one of the most available sets to buy. So maybe that's something to consider as far as like stuff that people are going to want in the future. You know what I'm saying? Totally. Not financial advice. And this is not an investment pod. Ha ha ha.
Guys, we completed Sword and Shield Scarlet Violet. We could call it there. We can negotiate whether this is the right ranking. We could do Mega Evolution, but that's technically the next era. So I just want to be respectful of the fact that Danny's about to hit midnight and he has a family and it's Wednesday. We're at 2.5 hours.
I just want to confirm we are stating that Lost Origin is the best set that's been released in Scarlet and Violet and Sword and Shield.
That's certainly what you're saying, and you know, maybe once you log off, we'll happily move it to where it belongs. But yes, as of right now.
Okay, so
I agree with the list.
Okay, so I think that just confirms that we are going to negotiate whether we've got this right or not. I don't think of it as the best set of Scarlet, Violet, and Sword and Shield, but I do think of it as an excellent set. It is hard to me. I personally probably put Lost Origin right around here, toward the bottom of S. Personally,
I have it exactly one spot below where it is now, in front of Paldea.
Wait,
into
what?
The A tier.
Wow,
that's exactly where I have Lost. Everything else, I think
you are lost. I agree.
I mean, Crown Zenith ahead of Evo Skies is just absolute. It's just a sin. Like
it's arguable. No, it's defensible.
It's crazy.
It's defensible.
That's crazy talk.
We can't do this because it can't be behind Destined Rivals. It cannot.
Lost Origin?
No, because it's got too much that it's already done.
I agree.
That's like saying, okay, Wemby is better than Kobe Bryant. Wemby has not played long enough to make that assumption.
Wow, what a great analogy.
Yeah. So Lost Origin's been around. I can't put it behind Destined Rivals. Like if you want to 151 Evolving Skies brought all these kids into the hobby and now the hobby is better for it. Like, okay, you can't get me with that on Destined Rivals.
He says that in his like Sunshine and Rainbows voice because I'm such a bleeding heart for the Pokemon community, aren't I, Danny?
Nope.
Oh yeah, I mean, the couple here and there that might shift back for all of us, but like we're very close generally to just objective truth. I don't care what chat says. This is just we're so close to what reality is here.
Agreed. Agreed. Yeah. So someone's asking, does most of chat have Lost Origin and S? That's interesting. And let's respect the fact that Danny is rightfully fighting for its balance as playable and collectible. What does the chat think? Lost Origin at this high ranking? I think it's a good question.
I mean, for me, like, I made the title of this stream, like, what's the best modern set? Tongue in cheek, because the answer is Evolving Skies and it's not close. But like, if if we want to be more objective and include the playability factor, like that's just a lens that I don't have experience with. And so I need to surrender some ground.
It does feel a little weird seeing Evolving Skies in position 3 S tier here for me.
But is Evolving Skies the best for you because you actually firmly believe that, or because society has trained you to think that for the past handful of years?
I don't need help from society, Danny. I have thousands of pack wrappers in my trash cans in the past to say.
But again,
like,
do you have thousands of pack wrappers because you were listening to me talk about pulling triplicates and duplicates and all these, and you're like,
no, it's because it had so many crazy artworks. You got the Rayquazas and the Dragonite and the Moonbryon and everything. I was so deep.
Artwork wise, Evolving Skies is probably one of, if not the best set we have ever had.
Right.
But there's more to a set than just that, in my opinion. And that my opinion isn't definitely, like, it's not always right. Like, it's just my opinion.
I mean,
that's where we're going to have differentials here.
Right.
Like,
we came into it agreeing. We're going fully off of vibes. For me, so much of how I interact with it is collecting the arts and then reselling things that are easily resold to make money so I can collect more arts. I did not open a lot of Evo Skies.
This comment here is so utterly true for me, because I finished my Evo Skies master set in 2021 or something, and I've still opened many boxes after that. And I haven't done that for any of the other sets I've ever mastered.
But let me ask you this. Are you opening Evolving Skies at $30 a pack?
Not for myself.
Would you open 151 at $30 a pack?
No, not at that price again, because I've mastered it as well, right? Like that I would open other sets at that price maybe if I hadn't mastered them. Maybe not in huge, like the same quantities, but because I do now have that binder, like that makes it hard to justify for a lot of reasons. But also at the same time, like Lost Origin, Destiny Rivals, I mean,
Lost Origin for me.
I'm comfortable with Lost Origin being ranked ahead of Destined. Yeah, period.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're close to objective truth, huh?
Yeah, we're close. We're close.
Is there anything outside of the S tier's tough, but like, is there anything else that is there anything we got wrong? I feel like this is pretty good.
I think we're going to get a DM later from Danny that's going to say we should move Darkness Ablaze into the utter abyss below F. But besides that,
I mean,
that was definitely wrong.
That could be an F.
It's so not an F. It's so better than actually no. What is it better than? It's better than Rebel Clash, and just because I don't know about playability, it's better than Sword Shield Base. But like besides that, Danny hates that because of how playable Sword Shield Base is.
It was very playable. Yeah.
Guys, I think we're gonna kind of lock it in somewhere around here with the understanding that those top 3 for S tier are like very, very debatable and subjective.
Yeah.
It's, do you like the playability? Do you like the opening experience? Do you like the iconic arts? I could see an argument for any one of those. We are at 2 hours and 43 minutes. So I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Like, do we want to? I'm in the earliest time zone of the 3 of us. So if we want to take some questions, we can. If we want to just call it a day there. We can. How are you guys feeling?
I'm good to maybe go until the top of the hour, but again, I'm
Yeah,
no
that's
more
fine. We can take a couple questions and go until
Okay.
it's another 15
Okay.
minutes. That's fine.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I think that's reasonable. All right,
was
y'all,
fun.
start putting stuff in the chat. There was a very interactive chat today, but no questions. It was just everyone, which we knew this was going to be. We knew how it was going to be. So start giving us your questions. There was one from earlier for Danny. Danny doing a 1,000 pack Phantasmal Flame giveaways on Black Friday.
10,000. 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah, we're gonna give away 10,000 packs of Phantasmal Flame. So what we're doing is I'm working with some stores and some brands, and we're going to ship out a ton of packs to LGSs around the United States. And they're going to have an event the day after Thanksgiving, which is Black Friday, to give booster packs to kids to open. So the goal was 10,000 packs, and we have raised above that right now. So then we're going to donate to schools and to some hospitals and places like that, just to kind of give Pokemon back to kids a little bit to open.
Danny, do you have a place where you can put that link, maybe here in the chat or something like that?
Yeah. Plug it
for those who want to get involved as well.
Yeah, I don't have. I mean, it's just been like store donations. I haven't asked
okay.
for any donations from individuals. I know how tough it is right now to get products. So this was just something that I wanted to do without having to ask really too many people from the community. So I've asked stores that want to host. You can email. There's an email set up, the Danny Phantump at gmail.com, which is just if you want to get involved with like donating packs, if you are a bigger LGS that wants to help, or I've got a couple distributors that are helping. So if you're a store or a brand that wants to be a part of it, like that's just something that we wanted to do to try and increase positivity a little bit, record a little content and try and get more positive vibes out there. So
love it.
Beautiful. All right, we are getting some questions coming in. So Blast Boost, thanks for the $50 super chat. And always, I've maybe been in here live with us for every one of these pods.
Shout out Blast Boost.
Shout out Blast Boost. Question for Danny. Looking to compete and get to Worlds one day. I need to know how much to put away for travel. What am I looking for a full season to compete? Maybe an Archie's Ace in the whole Blastoise?
I would invest a little bit in training, not too much, but there's some good coaches out there who do fantastic jobs. Like Azul is great, and there's some other ones too, if they have availability. So it doesn't have to be too intense. Go to your locals, which then your travel is easy. Playing some cups that are local. Decks are obviously super inexpensive right now. Every meta deck is basically anywhere between $70 and $100, which is super great. And then I would just pick a few regionals to travel to, and then maybe, an IC. So like NAIC, depending on what your budget, if you're trying to do it on a cost-effective basis, pick a few regionals to go to, and then also an IC so you can get some additional points. Get to know the community a little bit so you can save on room and board. Airbnbs are always great, but a lot of teammates will stay together, so that way it's $30, $40 a person. Regional events are only $100 to play in, so cost to entry isn't bad. But yeah, if you want to do really well, competitive play is difficult right now, so I would get a couple training sessions from some of like the better players out there, like an Azul Grigo, or some, maybe Grant Manley does some stuff. There's Zach Lesage, or if Andrew Mahone decides to start something back up again, or Tord, like any of them are fantastic people who are consistently day twoing. There's a lot of other ones too.
Nice. K Crowell 10 asks, when are you guys going to come to Hawaii? We were. Jake, you got any news or no?
I'll be there in January, folks, for PopCon.
I will not be.
I will also not be.
I would like to be.
What is the most underrated set that we just ranked?
Surging. Surging, and then Black Bolt White Flare. That's what I've realized. What do you guys think?
Those are good.
Like for long term, I don't know. I like it.
Jenny out here.
Prismatic is probably going to still be good, like in the future. People are going to love to open Prismatic. They're going to want to open Prismatic. So that is a B tier. Once you get through like the vibe feel of it, it'll probably be loved a lot more. Temporal Forces, I think maybe that's a little bit low. Otherwise, I think it's a pretty strong list.
For me, I think the most underrated, Chilling and Surging come to mind for me. The fact that Black Bolt and White Flare are still pretty available is, I think, interesting as well. But maybe I pick Chilling. From Luke Redden, Danny, what excites you about Pokemon in 2026?
I mean, new gen, I hope 30th anniversary hopefully will be good. Mega Chandelure, which is hopefully a thing. Chandelure is my favorite Pokemon by far. And really just like Worlds in San Francisco, the way that they're doing Worlds next year is very exciting for me. The fact that they're doing it in basically having, an arena for the actual competitive play and then a side-by-side convention center for more of the fun stuff, I think is definitely a step in the right direction as far as an esports field goes. So yeah, there's a lot to be excited about with Pokemon. If they can catch up to demand, I think it's going to be just going to continue to grow.
Agreed. All of that.
We've got from Beast Storm. When realistically do we think this boom will end?
Your guess is as good as mine. Still lots of tailwinds right now.
Yeah, there's lots of money out there. This boom can go on for a very long time. And if the 30th anniversary doesn't come out until the end of next year, like what they did with Celebrations, we could easily go another year yet.
Celebrations was in October, isn't that right, Danny?
Yep.
I don't even know how to answer the question. It feels like it's going to keep going. They're Pokemon company's on fire right now. Zeke47, in terms of growing the Pokemon brand, what has a bigger and better long-term potential? Gaming side, like games, apps, competitive, or the investment collecting side in terms of growing the brand?
Bigger and better long-term potential for whom?
That's kind of what I'm wondering too. Yeah, what's
like the individual, like Zeke47, like if you want to grow more, in what way, I guess?
Maybe Zeke, you follow up and clarify your question here. Sign of an Open Eye 01. What do you guys think about possible serialized cards coming out later in this new block?
Sounds a lot like an unfounded rumor to me.
I feel like that's been something that's been discussed for a few years now. And I think at one point in time, Pokemon actually kind of nixed it in a roundabout way, saying that they wouldn't do something like that. Now, they do have like trophy cards and things like that, which in a way kind of resemble some serialized stuff, but
true.
I don't know. I don't know if they would go that route.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
like English wise.
It doesn't feel consistent with Pokemon to me. Yeah. What do we think about a Ruby Sapphire set?
I'm here for it. Groudon is sweet.
Me too, exactly, dude. Some of the best legendaries, incredible starters, Waylord. Let's do it.
Yeah. I love Gen 3. I mean, the Sapphire is the game I spent the most hours on, probably. That or Fire Red. So very nostalgic for those two Game Boy Advance games. Rejectables. I have over 500 sleeved Evolving Skies and 200 sleeved Paldea Evolved. I agree with Danny that Paldea is more enjoyable to collect, but for investment, should I hold my Evo long term? Yes.
Evo is S tier.
And Paldea Evolved was not, according to Danny.
I think this is the way to kind of look at it, though. It depends on what you're looking to purchase now. So 500 sleeved Evolving Skies is a lot of sleeved Evolving Skies.
Yes.
Now, you could obviously dump that all to one rip and shipper right now at probably like $28 or $40 a pack for a sleeve pack. And then what would you take that and put that in? Are you putting that in something that's more liquid, that has a higher rate of return immediately? Or are you putting that something, you know, for a collection piece or maybe something more long-term? 500 sleeve packs is a lot. So looking at the future possibility of the set, Evolving Skies is obviously always going to want to be opened, but there is going to become a price point where it's like, that might be too much. Now, a set like Team Up is still getting opened up at $100 per pack. So
at $300 per pack.
For a loose booster, just a loose
People
booster.
are ripping sleeve boosters for over
Sleeve
300.
boosters, yeah. So that was a different era though, where packs could technically be way better than what now. So sleeve boosters are probably the safer. If you're in no hurry to sell, I would not sell.
Ento plays guitar. What would you guys be doing if not Pokemon? I'll go first because I'm not full-time Pokemon, so I work in tech. but maybe, you know, who knows? Maybe someday. In a totally ideal world where money doesn't matter, I'd just be like fostering dogs and exercising and stuff.
I don't know. Yeah, probably trying to compete in some sort of a sport at like a hobby level, you know, getting some cage fights.
Yeah, kind of the same. Like I would, if I was good enough to be an athlete of some sort, it's like that would be like my dream would be to like play baseball or basketball or something like that. But I'm short and not great, so Pokemon it is.
Folks in the chat, if you've got any other questions, otherwise we're closing in on our last couple anyway here. Bucas0, what are each of y'all's Mount Rushmore of modern cards? It's hard not to have the Moonbryon on it.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to, right? Like,
I think you have to.
It's the
whether
most
you like it or not.
Iconic card.
I'm gonna go so there's 4 choices, right? Because there's 4 heads. So I'm gonna go Moonbryon. I'm gonna go Latios tag team. I'm gonna go Magikarp from Paldea and Bubble Mew.
It's a pretty good list.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably swap the Magikarp with Van Gogh Pikachu. But I think you're on the way there.
Yeah, I think I think all those cards are good. Maybe Bubble Mew, I would put in like Gengar VMAX. I don't think you can go wrong with any of those.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I think we call it there. I don't think we have too many other questions that we need to answer, and we're right about at the hour.
Yeah. Hey, guys, thank you so much for joining and participating and razzing us a little bit in the chat. First of all, can we get a big thanks from all of you guys to Danny for spending all these late night hours with us. It's midnight his time. Very generous with his time. Appreciate you all for being here. Appreciate you, Danny. We will be back with Midweek Machamps 2 weeks from today with a brand new and fun topic. That's all we got. Any last words from you two guys?
Not at all. Just Danny, just echoing that. Thanks so much, man. You're definitely one of the goats and the better role models in the PokeTube space. So it's fun to have you on and do something a little bit, you know, whimsical like this with you. As the perfect break we needed from
the market talk. No, I appreciate you guys. I really appreciate everything you do, and thank you for having me on. It means a lot to me. So thanks for letting me in your community a little bit.
Our pleasure. Good night, everybody. See you next time.
All right, y'all.